it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome back to Criminality. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. I tell myself every time I wear yellow to not do it on a live stream, and yet I do it anyway. So my coloring is like the camera does not like it, but eventually I'll just turn my camera off. But I wanted to say hi to everybody first and say happy Friday to everybody and let you guys know the Bears are giving him a Viking. What are you talking about, Phoenix? He just quit. He just stepped down. He said rest in peace to RFK. So he's throwing, he had his hat in the ring for his campaign died. Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, yes, I get that. But he's not dead. He doesn't need to rest in peace. He'll be doing a job for Trump if Trump wins. That's my feeling behind it. But I don't want to get too far into politics because then people are going to get really mad. So apparently a lot of stuff happened today, yet nothing happened. So we have a lot to talk about. And at the end of this, you're going to walk away and you're going to go, so what the fuck did we just talk about? Because nothing actually happened. But we're still going to go through it anyway, just so we cover all of our bases. I heard that RFK is thinking about supporting Trump. I agree. That's what I've heard. So I withdraw my campaign in exchange for a cabinet position. Any one of them is fine. Yes. So I'm going to say hi to you guys. We're going to get started. We're just going to talk about what happened in court today, or lack of what happened in court today, and what the public is being told so far. And we're going to talk about the few filings that came in from the defense team, as well as a couple motions to quash from the state. So we'll go over that, what I think it means, does it matter, so on and so forth. Just my opinion, you know how it is. And we'll go from there. So high necessary evil. It's raining. It's like 95 degrees here. So, hey, Big Fish. What's up, Susan? No thinking about it. He's already endorsed him and said promised a cabinet position. Oh, see, I didn't actually watch it. I just saw on Twitter that it happened. Yeah, because politics will just, I don't know. Delphi, I think already, I should probably, speaking of, we had a lot of trolls last time. So let me actually go into the stream. And I told myself, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go. I used to do this when we covered Delphi like every day. We just have to turn on subscribers only. So if trolls want to come in, then they at least have to subscribe for a little while. Is there anybody here that's going to be booted from being able to comment if I do this, though? Because I don't want to do that either. All right, we'll see. I'm like, make trolls have patience. What's up, Salty C? Hi, Thierry. Hey, Rochelle. So they say. So they say. What's up, Francis? What you doing? Just finished the last and the tramp drawing. Oh, the lady in the tramp drawing. Yes. Oh, that's so sweet. I want it for sure. Can you email me? Can you email me? I'll send you an address. T, we've had an unexpected turn of events. We've had an unexpected turn of events. Phoenix, you better fucking be subscribed. Hi, Christy. Hi, Bonnie. Okay, let me get it out of the way. I know where you live. They don't have to say it. It's true. Oh shit. Richard, weren't you already a member? Maybe you were just rejoining, but thank you for joining the membership. Carrie, thank you for gifting a membership. That was awesome. Oh, 2 memberships. I missed the second one. Thank you for doing that. Welcome to the other new members. Hey, Linda K. What's up, Mary? Hi, Dizzy. I feel like I'm dizzy today. Hi, Black Swan. What's up, Yankee Ghost? Cozy. I'm not a troll. Cozy's not a troll. Hi, True Crime Fangirl. Catastrophe. So, I'm just going to say, hey, Chickpea. I'm just going to say somebody sent me a donation for transcripts and other expenses. It was a PayPal. I do not know exactly who it's from because it's got the real name on there, and I don't know if it's from one of you guys, and I don't want to say the real name, but if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you. It was very kind of you, but I don't know who to thank. So thank you to whoever sent that. It was very, very nice. What's up, Cleveland Rocks? Hi, All on the Prowl. Miss Mala. What's up, Criminal Network? Hey, Hansy Bay. Hey, Carrie. What's up, Joe's Dub? Tammy, look at you. Welcome to the dark side. CW. I don't know how many I missed because I'm going back and forth through the screens. So we'll just keep going. But I hope that whoever sent that, I hope that you, everyone in here is so motherfucking good looking. Hi, R&M. So you were supposed to be live at 2:00, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to go live. I was going to go live at like 2:45, 3:00 after I got the kids. And then I saw you were live. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait till 4. And then somebody messaged me and they're like, R&M pushed it till 4. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I hope that I didn't really throw you too far off track. I apologize. Mandy. Big G OG. Okay. So let's share the screen. Then I got to turn this camera off because this stupid yellow shirt is going to drive me insane. We just got some stuff to look at. It is, Francis, it's criminality187@gmail. Oh, everybody be nice. Everybody be nice. You guys all know I could care less what your opinion is on the case. I just care how you treat me and how you treat others in the chat. If there's somebody that you just don't want to deal with in the chat, just block them. You can unblock them afterward if you just, whatever, if it's just becomes too unbearable. But other than that, like I have people that I enjoy from all different aspects of different true crime. And so so many are welcome here. And I know that it becomes very tough sometimes in a chat, but it just kind of is. It's a blocka blocka. It's a blocka blocka. What's up, Kit Kat? Hey, Kathy. Okay, so Sleuthy, go see. Just a heads up. So on the transcripts, I still have not heard back from Jody. I'm going to go with, I think we're going to get them for $1. I'm still sticking with that, but she's still not responding to my emails. I'm like, yeah, hopefully we can still get them. And I'm sure she's fine, but I'm just not her priority. What's up, Anja? Okay, so this was posted on Twitter earlier. This was Richard Allen arriving at court today. So as everybody was probably very well aware, we were supposed to have status hearings today starting at 1 p.m. Indiana time. And the first part of it was going to be a closed status hearing. We've all been speculating, here and on other channels what we thought that might be. And then there was going to be another part of the status hearing that was going to be open to the public. So many, many people went to Delphi, as they normally do, to get into court and see what the second part was going to be. But so it was supposed to start at 1 o'clock. The closed hearing ended at 1:37, so 37 minutes later. Then Tony Liggett walks out to where the public is seated inside the courthouse waiting to come into the courtroom and says, unfortunately, I don't think he said unfortunately. I think he just was like, we're not having a hearing. So like, sorry, you guys can go home. And I have a few articles we're going to pull up. But so this was Richard Allen arriving at court today. this was his first time arriving at court since he's been transferred to a jail versus the prison. Some people have even said they think he might even look kind of happy. He looks, I mean, he's definitely not shackled to the nines. You know, he's able to step out, and you can see that there's no shackle like around his feet. He definitely has his cuffs on. He's got reading glasses on his head, and he looks a little pasty in my opinion. But you know, kind of, what are you gonna do? And when you know Cass County doesn't have basketball or whatever, I don't even know. I'm just joking. I don't even know if Cass County does. But that was like one of the big things that they didn't want to transfer him because it didn't have basketball. So I mean, he doesn't look too bad. He doesn't look like great, but I mean, he doesn't look too bad. He definitely doesn't look anything like the pictures we were getting, like, you know, back in April of 2023. So I just wanted to show you guys that. It was probably the clearest. There is a video of him like walking in, but this was the best shot that I could find. So I mean, it seems like he's like smiling at the sheriff. I don't know. He seems a lot more casual. That would piss off people, I know, because if anybody here is like, you know, he's absolutely guilty, nobody gives a shit if he's if he's healthy or not, which I get too. I get that too, because I get it. Like, you know, if you think that if he's actually the guy, then it's like, fuck him. So just wanted to show you guys that. So then we're going to talk about some articles. And hello to everybody that has popped in. Let me make sure you guys can see this first. I'm going to turn this off because that lighting is just stupid. So there's a couple different articles. Some of it's going to be repeated information, but I'm going to read them to you guys anyway. So a hearing in Delphi, murder case was canceled suddenly without an explanation. The first pair of status hearings in the case against Richard Allen, accused in the 2017 murders of Delphi 8th graders Abby and Libby, happened behind closed courtroom doors on Friday afternoon. A little over a half hour into it, Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett emerged from Carroll Circuit Court and announced to those milling on the third floor rotunda that the second hearing, expected to be done in open court, would not happen as scheduled. That's the best I can tell you, Liggett told family members of the girls and Allen, as well as more than a dozen members of the media, detectives, and Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter. Hot diggity damn, Schmida, 23 months. That's a pretty good picture. Prosecutors and victim advocates escorted the extended families of Abby and Libby. If anybody in the chat was in the courtroom, please tell me if Anna was there, because I keep hearing conflicting information. We know that she didn't show up for the 3 days. So I don't know. But they said families of Abby and Libby. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Abby's grandparents were there. What's up, Blake? What did Fiend say? Plea deal confirmed. People always look happy when they're about to agree to a life in prison. So also for clarification purposes, if you guys remember from the 3-day hearing when they were setting up the schedule, Baldwin did say, like, I have a murder trial, but it should be okay. I should be able to work around it. Remember? And then there was the commentary of like, well, I have murder trials all the time, and I can make it happen. Well, Baldwin was not in the courtroom today because he is still at his murder trial in Allen County, ironically. And so my opinion is there's definitely no plea deal happening if Baldwin's not even there. But, you know, it could, but I doubt it. Well, I don't think there was a plea anyway. So the prosecutors, so they escorted the families of Abby and Libby into the neighboring Carroll Superior Court for an update. Yeah, they don't ever mention Anna or Carrie, but they do say families of Abby. So it could be the Erskines. Hey, Hiawatha. What's up, Nancy? I actually don't know, Susan. I don't think so. I don't think so, but I don't know that for sure. Yeah, there's definitely some confidential information happening. Or the reporter just doesn't know shit. That's always a possibility. So, asked what had happened during the first hearing, Brad Rosie, one of Alan's defense attorneys, simply said nothing. So, like, nothing happened. He then met briefly with Alan's wife and family before walking them downstairs at the courthouse for a private discussion. Judge Fran Gohl left the courthouse without comment about 15 minutes later. Gohl scheduled the status hearing a little over a week ago without posting what would be discussed in the closing minutes of the 3 days of pretrial hearings, and she had scheduled this after the nearly 12-hour third day. Alan's attorneys, the prosecutor, and judge talked about additional matters at the bench before Gohl said she'd set a hearing in the coming weeks. Still pending are 2 motions that were heard on July 31st and August 1st, each of which are pivotal in the case against Alan, a 51-year-old former CVS clerk from Delphi. He's a manager. And at least they're not calling him a pharmacy tech. In one, his attorneys have asked to toss what investigators contend were more than 60 confessions. They've argued that conditions imposed by forcing Alan into a maximum security, quote-unquote, prison inside of a prison setting at Westville Correctional Facility to await trial broke him physically and mentally, making the confession suspect. The other one deals with whether prosecutor Nick McClellan can block the use of some words and names, including Odinism, a cult or a ritualistic killing, and names of people central to a third-party theory Rosie and Baldwin have been building to raise doubt about whether Alan killed Abby and Libby. So for more arguments from that week in court, and here's your rest of your stuff. So, has a victim advocate been available to the families at any point? I would. That's factually, I have no idea. I think I would always assume that there was. Hey, True Grit Crime. I would always assume that they would have one, but I shouldn't. But I would think so. Everything happened. I'm going to say nothing happened, but I'm going to tell you guys why I think nothing happened. I just don't think that we're not there yet in the live. Answer. I would say that victim advocates are much more important in jurisdictions with a giant bureaucratic prosecutor's office in Carroll County. A victim can talk to the prosecuting attorney almost any time. That's it's from 2021. Interesting. So Huda says yes, for the prosecution side, there's a victim advocate around in case they need anything. So is it an individual victim advocate who can talk to anybody in the family, or are they only allotted to speak to, and I'm asking this for a reason, are they only allotted to speak to the quote-unquote guardians of the children? Yeah, prosecutors are not victim advocates. Absolutely not. Heo says it was brought up before that they do not have one because that person is supposed to help them deal with the media. Interesting. The secrecy in this case is disturbing. I know. And then they get mad that the public is, what are they, out for bloodlust, The cops will even try to isolate kids from their parents. No cops will even try to isolate kids from their parents. I think I missed a comment because I don't know where that goes to. Allotted to direct kin. Hey, Shelly. Hi, Scott. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Like I said, there's obviously repeated information, but this is from the people, the outlets, the news outlets that were in court that got told to step away. Okay, Huda says it's usually someone working in prosecution office and they can talk to anyone. Prosecutions, victim advocates don't help with the media. Hey, woman, did you change your name or like how it looks? It's coming up weird on StreamYard. Woman doing impossible things. So Doug Carter was apparently there and was out kind of mingling with all the common folk. But Doug Carter is on his way to retirement. So he has been for about a year now. So he should be coming up on where he's who's going to take over as superintendent. So I think that his plan is to make it through the Delphi trial and then he's going to bounce. Just an FYI. Hey, Thomas, prosecution is setting up for potential violence. Yeah, it feels like they are playing the strings of the public to create outrage if they lose. I would agree with that. I think that's pretty common though too, especially in anything like high profile like this. But then it's like the public's just, this is the problem with this case, is like the public just has to take their word for it. He has 2 months left. Yeah, I know it's coming up because I know a year ago he said that he was done. Doug did not use his magic hands today from what I heard. It was a relentless request from DB. Hi, Mar. Hey, Labrant. Thank you for joining. Did I miss anybody else? Let me just see. I think I got you all. I'm terrible at double checking that. What's up, Yaya? I'm so confused about what happened today. I think we all are. Is saying nothing a violation of the gag order? I guess you'd need more context. What if he just says like nothing? Like I'm not going to tell. I'm telling you nothing. I won't tell you anything. Susan, I always say that Doug Carter has magic hands because in his interviews when he talked about the sketches, he literally says like if you put them together, I'm going to have to find that clip because it's like one of my favorites. He's like if you put them together, and he kind of like waves his hands up in the air like, then you have the killer. Like, and I don't know, I'm not saying it exactly verbatim, but it's like he uses like a wave of his hands like it all of a sudden like they're magic hands, and all of a sudden it becomes like the same. Both sketches become the same guy. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. So guardianship ends upon death. So why are they even communicating with the Patties and pushing Carrie aside? Well, that was what I was wondering. I was wondering if, like, when the families are brought into this other room to talk to, if Anna's not there, would grandparents even be allowed to go in there? And then if for Libby, if the grandparents were the guardian and they don't even refer to Carrie in press conferences, which is just beyond me, that would Carrie be allowed to go in? I mean, do they get this information secondhand, or are they getting it straight from them? I'm just wondering that. I get the feeling it didn't go quite the way the state planned. I'm wondering the same thing. Or if there's just a stop to the entire thing. Okay, we don't like you, Betty. What? Who? I can't tell by the picture. Who is this? And you changed your name to "We don't like you, Betty." I can assume I know who you're talking about, but Carrie is included in that stuff, but can't answer for Anna's side. Okay, thank you for telling me that. Hey, Mother of Dragons. Wonder if that fundraiser for the family and Ellie will also go to Carrie. Yeah, see, I doubt. Which one's Doug Carter? He's the one that talks in riddles. You'd recognize him if you saw him, DB. People are gonna be like, DB, you know who he is. Nope, DC is gonna keep his promise to Abby and Libby. It's coming. Today is day one of that. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't think he's gonna leave until after. Oh, I'm sure I will love it. That is so awesome. I can't believe you did that for me. What's up, Adrian? So we don't really know. So we're going through some articles and just kind of gauging what we're hearing. Oh, the one in the Riddler costume. Yeah. Okay, so Delphi Murders, so this is Journal and Courier. Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen's closed door hearing concluded at 1:37 p.m. Remember, it started at 1, so 37 minutes is all the closed hearing took before they were like, we're done, we're leaving, we're not even going to continue on. And the anticipated public hearing that was to follow was canceled. So just for clarification purposes, because I know it was confusing right off the bat, and I'm sure probably everybody knows by now, a lot of people were thinking that the second hearing was still taking place and was just not allowed to have the public in it, or like the public wasn't going to be allowed in, so they were going to continue their private status hearing. Well, what happened was whatever happened in the private canceled the public, so there was no other hearing. So I'm going to address something. I don't know if she's still in here, but True Crime Grit was getting a lot of smack earlier for apparently wearing these really fucking cool sunglasses that now I know what I'm going to ask for my birthday. Apparently there are smart sunglasses. Like, who the fuck knew that besides True Grit Crime? Because I sure as hell didn't. And there are sunglasses that like are hooked up to your phone and they can take pictures, and they you listen to music, and I'm like, I definitely need a pair of these. But apparently she had a pair that were, as she states on her video, so please, you guys, make sure one of the mods, if I have a mod in here, can you guys drop True Grit Crime's channel for me? You have to charge them because they're just like Bluetooth glasses. You have a pair too, Necessary? I didn't even know these freaking things existed. I'm like, how cool are these? So she had them on, but had her phone in the car. And she says they were dead, though. Like, you have to charge them. They were dead. And so at some point, like I said, you have to listen to her tell the story, but they're called meta glasses. I don't know. I'm just going to call them smart sunglasses because that makes more sense to me. Shelly, no, it was a joke. Somebody in chat was asking, it was a joke. No, yeah, I think everybody knows who Doug is. It was just like, oh, which one's that again? It was just being silly. So they have been around a while. Well, I obviously am not up to speed on my tech stuff. You want to come up? I'll send you a link, True Grit Crime. Do you want to come up and say it? You can get prescriptions in them? Okay, this is just amazing. Pretty sure they do record. It's like 60 seconds at a time. Okay, give me a sec. I will grab a link and I will email it to you real quick. So you can come up. Yeah, you can come up and tell us what happened and how cool these sunglasses are. Because I think this is literally going on my Christmas list or my birthday list. Birthday comes first. All right, I'm here. Just talk amongst yourselves for a hot minute while I send her a link. I'm just going to use our old email thread, so it'll pop up under there. Everybody attending should be equipped with these smart glasses. Did someone actually take me up on the glasses deal? I'm like, somebody in my the Criminality Delphi chat put in, I should save that and play it because like it was legit how I feel. But it was like you know, I don't think who was it? Dave Chappelle. He's like, I don't think you did, but if you did, like, could you blame him? They're the Facebook glasses. They weren't banned from the courthouse, just the courtroom, and no one went into the courtroom. We had an option of leaving the phone at a metal detector in a basket or in the car. Yeah, so I'll let her come up and tell you guys what happened outside the courtroom door, so she didn't violate anything by having them in the rotunda. Your sister got you a pair as a present? You got to charge them for like 2 years? Oh, that kind of sucks. DB, what are you doing? The malware 5000s? $450. That's why I'm asking for him as a present. What's up, Inspector Gadget? Inspector Gadget's like, you rang? Nobody's going to be held in contempt. That would just be silly. Antibio's like, unless those glasses can instantly transcribe the hearings, I don't care. Oh, shit. I want to know who snitched on her. Probably the same person making a huge deal about it. Timu has some. What? Okay, I like your new StreamYard name, Mama Gritty.
Thank you. I changed
All right.
it.
You want to tell us? You want to tell us what happened and how it all transpired?
Okay, so basically, what went down was I got up this morning. I got myself ready to go, doing my day, throw on my shades, walk out the door. I did not charge them, nothing. Like, half the time I don't even pay attention to them. I just love them because, like, they're great for, like, sun blockage, for real. So I wore them driving to court. I got to the courthouse. I walked inside and I literally took them off my head. I put them in the little bowl thing, like you're supposed to put your keys and all that other jazz in there. I put them in the bowl. I put my purse through the x-ray machine. They put the little bowl through the x-ray machine, went through there. Nobody said anything. Okay. So I went upstairs. I sat up there for at least 2 hours, went back downstairs when the new filed motions came out to go use my phone because I walked all the way to my car.
Yeah, so I saw your video where you're out there like, okay, hey, you guys, we're still waiting, blah, blah, blah. And there's all the new stuff that came out. We'll read them tonight when I get home. I watched your video, yeah.
Yeah, because when the new motions came out, Frank Meister had gotten a copy of them. And he was gracious enough to let me kind of look at it, peruse it, write down, what was there. And so my phone, I took my phone and threw it off in my glove compartment, locked it off. You know what I mean? Don't think anything of it. And I walked back into the courthouse. I go through the security a second time. Again, same procedure, take the glasses off my face, put them in the little bowl thing, put my purse and all that through. Nobody said anything, nothing. And I just put them back on the top of my head and I went upstairs and I was sitting in the chair. I was leaning down to get something out of my purse and an officer was walking by and he's like, hey, you come here. So I got up and he's like, is there a camera on your glasses? And I was like,
so do you have a mic on your head at this time?
Yeah, I had them on my head, but like not wearing them, but like on your head, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like up on your hair.
Like, yeah. And so he's like, is that a camera on your glasses? And I was like, yeah, but they're not working. Like, they're not charged. You have to have a cellular device to even use them. I don't even have a cellular device on my persons or in my possession. And he's like, well, I'm going to have to ask you to take them to your car. And I was like, fine. So I go to leave and I go out the door and they have like this little security box when you walk in. And, you put your devices in the security box or whatever. And I asked the lady that was down there, I was like, listen, like these aren't charged. Like I have no cellular device to like power them, nothing like that. I said, one of the officers upstairs said that there was an issue with the camera being on there. I said, I just want to, like, is it okay if I put them in the box over here? And she said, yeah. So, and even the officer looked at him, like made sure like there's nothing on them, nothing running. I have no, like, you have to have it.
You have to like a button you have to push to like turn it on.
Yeah. You have to have it paired to your device, your cellular device to even use it for it to take photos, to do music. And it has to be within so many feet of usage to be able to use it. So you wouldn't be able to be on the third floor of the courthouse and whatever, you know what I mean? And it doesn't do that, but I didn't even charge them. I didn't even think about them being on my head. They're just a great pair of sunglasses. And that was it. So, at the end of everything that happened, I was getting ready to get on the elevator, and the officer walked over to me and he's like, I need your name and your telephone number. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I have to let the judge know that the glasses were in the building, that they have a camera on them. And I said, even though that they weren't in working order, like I didn't even use them. And he's like, yeah, but still I have to let her know. And he said, this could get you like barred from coming into future proceedings. And I said, okay, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there was no ill will. There's no intent there. I wasn't filming. I wasn't taking any photos.
Didn't he say that you could potentially be held in contempt of court?
No, he didn't mention that at all.
He didn't offer to arrest you on the spot? And
no, he did not. Nope.
He didn't say, give me $500 and we'll let this go?
Nope. And they gave me my glasses back.
You said, I have to tell her, and, you know, and it could cause whatever.
Right. And they gave me my glasses back upon exiting the building. They weren't even on.
They didn't even confiscate your glasses to see if you had been recording?
No, they didn't even confiscate. Like, he had me hand him my glasses or whatever, and he made sure that they weren't on. I had no device on me, no cellular device on my persons. You have to have a cellular device on your persons to run those. Yeah. So I don't know. All I know is that it was not charged. I did not use them for anything. Before I could even get home, I was in my car maybe 20 minutes, and somebody sent me a message and said someone was saying that I was doing all type of shit that I wasn't doing. And that's just not the case. They were literally on my
to
page.
Be fair, I will be fair. I think that it also got kind of blown up that like you were being arrested, and like as it went through this chain, because I did see some comments like on Facebook that you were like being arrested and being held in contempt. I think it went from this is what was observed with maybe a little bit of inflation, and then it just continued to go on.
Right. So, and it's just a bunch of wild rumor and speculation or whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, I know for future reference, like, make sure that they just don't wear them, period. That's
so I have to ask, when you had them on your head in the like the rotunda area waiting to go into the courtroom, did you have your eye like on any of these deputies to see if anybody was actually talking to them to like report you, or was it
there was a lot? I mean, there was a lot of people. There was just a lot of people like standing around. A lot of people were talking. It was very loud and boisterous in there. So, hey, hold on one second. Sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. Yeah. So I was just wondering, like, if you could tell if actually somebody else noticed, because I'll be like I said, I had no clue these things even existed. So if I had seen you in court wearing sunglasses on your head, I would have just been like, she's got sunglasses on her head. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have even thought anything of it.
I mean, I wore them before.
I don't know if somebody noticed it and reported it, or if one of these deputies.
I wore the glasses before. Again, I didn't charge them before I went, but when I attended the Westerman hearing, there were a couple people that saw that, like, my sunglasses or whatever, and they were like, hey, are those, Ray-Bans? And I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, those are so awesome. Those are, like, so cool. But that's it. I mean, I don't know if somebody said something or whatever. I don't know.
How long can they record for?
Huh?
How long can they record for you? Like, how, like, if you push like a record button, how long can it actually record?
It's like 20-second clips, maybe, if anything. So I mean, yeah, and I really don't even use them like that. About the most that I have used for is listening to music. I love listening to music on them. They have great sound quality. 1 minute video. Okay, well, I don't even really use them like that. So
I'm assuming, because once I started looking these things up, like I was like, hey, I'm putting this on my wish list for sure. Yep. I'm assuming that these different models probably have different lengths of times, because there is multiple different ones I noticed.
I'm
So
not
like,
sure because my husband got them. Mine are from the first models from when they were released. My husband got them for me as a Christmas gift. Um, actually, like I didn't even know I was like getting them. I was watching a show on Hulu, and I didn't want to pay for the non-commercial whatever, so I let the commercial pay, and I saw them, and I was like, holy guacamole! And I called my husband, and I was like, you know what? uh, these are pretty cool. And so he
so
was like, oh,
have
okay.
you ever recorded something? Like, have you ever gone to like one of your kids' like events or like gone outside and recorded something? You have to like continuously click it to like keep recording it. Like, how does
Yeah,
that
you
work?
would have to continuously click it to like keep recording it or whatever. And you would hear like it has a click type thing. Like it's like, you know what I mean? And it makes a sound if you try to record with them. So like you would totally there's no inconspicuity about
It
having
makes
those
a
all
sound
this
if you
over.
push the button to record it.
Yes, it makes a sound and everything if you do. Yes, it will tell on you.
Okay. But you don't have a phone for it to go to, so you can't even do it
Yeah,
unless
you
you
can't
like
do it. No, you
stashed
can't.
your phone somewhere.
My phone was in my glove compartment of my car, locked, and my car was parked over 4 blocks away.
Okay.
So
So the bottom line is, obviously, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like anything nefarious was happening. Not to say that I wouldn't mind a
no,
recording
nothing
of what's
nefarious. I
happening.
just wore my sunglasses. That's it. I had them on my head. It is sunny as heck out there. It's bright sun. I mean, that's it.
Okay. So I think that kind of clears up. I think everything. Anybody have any questions?
And
Because
as far
my
as the hearing goes, I mean, they were already like before McClelland was escorted in there with Holman and Vito. They had already said, hey, like about the glasses, and I had already taken them down, downstairs. So that was before they even showed up to go into the courtroom or whatever.
So how many freaking deputies talked to you about these sunglasses?
Just the one. And then when I went downstairs
Do you
to
know who it
go
was?
turn Yoder, and when I went downstairs to go turn the glasses, into the little bin, the guy looked at him and he was like, what are these? And I was like, Ray-Bans. And he's like, well, I don't understand. Why are you bringing them down here? And I was like, well, because the officer upstairs said that there was a camera on them and that I needed to come down here with them. He looked at him. He said, oh my God, these are cool as shit. He's like, I didn't even know these existed. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, all right. And that was that.
Well, so I have one follow-up question. Well, maybe two. Did anybody, specifically anybody with a goose in their name, ask you to go in and record this hearing?
No. Nobody asked me to go and record anything. I was not intentionally trying to record nothing. None of that.
Just wanted that on the record.
Yes. No, none of that.
It was just, you had sunglasses, you left the phone in the car, you just went in the courtroom, went into the courthouse, not even into the courtroom.
Right.
And here's my
just
sunglasses
sitting
on my
in the
head.
atrium upstairs, waiting around just like everybody else. I mean, the place was hopping. It was full of people. It was very loud. The court bailiff had to come out at one point and tell everybody to shush because it was just too loud.
Well, I think like Huda said there was like about 50 people like waiting out there, and I did hear that there was like people were just talking, and obviously if anybody's ever been in a room with like 50 people, even at talking like at a normal level, it rises because there's so many in such a small area.
Yeah, because the bailiff
you were not approached by any cranks, any type of person who goes by a name of a bug.
No.
Anybody that you've met on YouTube, anybody that you've met through court?
No.
Nobody asked you to wear sunglasses to record?
No.
Anything.
None of the above.
Okay.
None of the above. Nothing
Any
like
bugs
that.
or foul?
Nothing. Period.
Where's
None.
Travis? He'll name all the foul for us so that we can make sure we have them all covered. Well, I mean, these glasses sound really fucking cool. So I'm seriously considering, like, I'm putting this on my wish list, and I'm like, okay, this is what my husband's being like, so what do you want for your birthday? And I'm gonna be like, well, honey,
The glasses are awesome. They really are. The sound quality is great on them. Like I said, I really don't take like videos or nothing like that with them. Usually if I do listen to them, it's to listen to music, honestly. But yeah. And I think that they were already.
Does anybody check anybody's writing instruments when they go in?
I would assume that they do because they're searching bags. So.
But I mean, are they checking them for like mics and cameras? I mean, there are pens that record.
They're digging through bags. So.
We've heard from people in court that there is a few people who don't actually take any notes during the hearings. And but yet they're able to come onto their platform and say what they think that happened in the courtroom, even though they don't actually take notes while they're in there.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Because I can tell you right now, I'm a very extensive note taker. Women doing impossible things can tell you right now, she just transcribed the notes that I had from the last sets of hearings for the first 2 days that I went. And those alone were 85 pages. That was 85 pages written out of notes. I have absolutely no problem with taking notes, and I have no problem showing my work.
People are gonna have to be checked for all kinds of stuff. You put a fake tooth in that's got a camera in it. I mean, do they get banned?
I have no idea. I have no idea. All I know is that it wasn't. I had no nefarious means by that. I made sure to leave my device in my car. If I knew that it was going to be such a fucking headache, I would have left the damn sunglasses in the damn car. That's it.
Does anybody else have sunglasses on their head?
I mean, other people wear sunglasses.
Did anybody else's glasses get checked for cameras?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not the people at the door doing the check-in.
So when you were in the court or the courthouse, because you were, like I said, you were not in the courtroom, did you happen to find any unspent Twixes?
Unspent what? The heck?
Did you find any Milky Way wrappers?
No, I didn't. No.
All right. No. Once again, this is just for the record. I just trying to make sure that we cover all of our bases. I think you might have missed the live where we talked about having unspent Twixes.
I think I did miss that live. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I'm glad that you came on here and that you talked about it. I know that you did about a 20-minute video I watched on your channel. If there's mods, please drop her link. You can go over and watch. I think it's important to go watch her because it's more of an initial reaction, which I appreciated, to what she was hearing, like as soon as she had gotten home, because she has a trip. She drove there, didn't get to go into the courtroom.
I'm in the car. Listen, let me put it to you like this, because this was irritating as all get out today. So I'm in the car. I'm in a car for over 2 hours driving. Okay. I wasn't even gone from the courthouse 20 minutes. I got my first message talking about, hey, yo, somebody's dropping your name in their mouth, talking about this rumor, what happened. And I have no air conditioning in my car right now because that went out. So you got to imagine you're in a hot car,
because you have a
driving home,
device inside your air
you're
conditioning
seeing
unit?
this, and you're like, really? Like, how does it get to this from something so freaking simple? Okay, I can guarantee you, period, point blank, if I was recording or doing anything nefarious, they would have put a pair of silver bracelets on my wrists because they would have loved nothing more than to do that to somebody. Okay, period. It makes no damn sense to me. They already had a bunch of shit going on to begin with before the hearings already started. All of those motions that dropped, they were in there 37 minutes in a closed hearing. They came out. A reporter asked Rozzy, he looked agitated as all get out walking out of that courtroom. He said, what happened? Nothing. That's it. Nothing. Because
did you hear him say that?
Huh?
Were you around? Did you hear him say that?
I wasn't physically right there, but there was a journalist. I can send you the the
I have it.
post.
I have it. I wanted to know if
Yeah.
you heard it. 'Cause I wanted to.
No,
I wanted to
I
hear,
didn't
like, kinda how he
specifically
said
hear
it.
it myself. I saw the post or whatever. But the point of it is that, you know, like, here it is over and over again, nothing. And then you got Liggett coming out of the courtroom and he's like, everybody shut up. Everybody gets quiet for a second. And he's like, there will be no public hearing. And everybody's just looking at him. And he's like,
He was
I
yelling.
can't give you a reason. Just, it is what it is. Everybody go. Like, okay. And then he just looked mad. He just stood there and looked angry. Just
So was Liggett in the courtroom?
not that I don't. He was outside of the courtroom, and then I don't know if he went in the courtroom or whatever.
I mean,
'cause
like,
didn't see-
I keep hearing like he came out and said
yeah,
this.
he
So,
went
like,
in the
where did
courtroom and he
where
came
was he that
out because when he
out of?
came out, he was mad as all get out, and he was like, he just yelled, "Shut up!" Because that was the second time. The first time they came out, they screamed, "Shut up!" And then the guy was like,
They screamed,
They
"Shut
can't-
up!"
"Yeah, shut up! They can't hear what's going on in there." Okay, you can't hear what's going on in there, you know. And then they come out, like, Liggett goes in there, comes out, and he's yelling, "Shut up!" The next thing you know is there's no public hearing today. I can't give you a reason. It is what it is, and get the fuck out. Basically, welcome to Walmart. Get your shit and get out. That's it. There's no explanation. There's no transparency. None of that. So, yeah.
So it seems that okay, so he had to have been in the courtroom. He had to have been in the courtroom to walk out and be able to say this stuff. Was it Liggett that came out and yelled, "Shut up"?
Yes.
Or was it somebody
Liggett came out and yelled, "Shut up." The first officer was a different officer, but Liggett was the one who came out and started screaming, "Shut up," and telling people that the public hearing has been canceled. There is no reason why. It's canceled. That's all I can tell you. It's canceled. Goodbye. That's it. And like everybody, like there was a group of people that just sat there for a minute, like, okay, wait, okay, it's canceled. Well, what's going on? Well, what, you know what I mean? And everybody's just kind of standing there, just like, all right, well, what's going to happen next? And then there was a guy who works for the defense, one of their aides, that went over, and he was talking to Kathy. Like, Kathy looked pretty upset. I could see that she was mouthing, "I want him to come home," but then, like, the guy stood up, so I couldn't see anything else.
She said, "I want him," or you could see her
I
mouth,
want
like,
him
"I
to come
want him to
home.
come
Like,
home."
she was crying and she said, "I want him to come home." And they were trying to explain something to her. I don't know what it was. But after that, like, I turned around and I went downstairs and I was standing outside. At one point, Rosie exited the building with the young man that had been speaking to Kathy and Janice. They went over, they stood by the gazebo and started to have a conversation. After that, Miss Auger exited the courthouse with Kathy and Janice, and then they proceeded to walk over and hold a conversation by that gazebo. So then after that, people were all talking about going as a group to go get something to eat. And I was so just like, I'm just going to go home. You know what I mean? I got a couple hour drive, and yeah. So I just wanted to go home and process like all of this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no reason. Could you guys hear anything going on in the courtroom while you were waiting, like for the closed hearing? Like, could you hear them in there? Like,
no,
did
you
anybody
could
get
not
loud?
hear them. You could not hear them in there. They only opened the door a couple of times prior to Goal going in there and getting on the bench. I did see the open door at one time, and Shane Evans was practicing on the bench. So that was quite interesting, because I looked over and I saw him, like, he was grinning.
What do you mean he was practicing that? He's in the courtroom by himself,
I
and he's
know,
like,
he was just
"Order in the
electing, right? And I'm like, but what is that mug doing on
Was
the
nobody
bench?
in
Like,
there?
huh?
Wait a minute. Wait, nobody's, like, he's in a courtroom all by himself?
He's in the courtroom that they were using for Goal, the second courtroom. Right. So like he's in there and
Sitting
he's
up
on the
there,
bench,
like,
you know, I
looking
see him.
back.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, I know he's like newly elected, but normally like they would wait until the beginning of the next year in January to start that little pulpit thing. So I mean, he's in
No
there on
way,
the
he's
bench.
sitting up there. Did he have a robe on, or was he just in his
He
clothes?
had a robe on. He had the robe on. He had it on, and he was smiling. Cheese. He was grinning like, oh
He's
my
like
goodness.
adjusting the seat and making sure the gavel like wasn't too heavy.
It was hilarious. Anyways, so I saw him and I was like,
The best
okay,
part of
so
the whole
like,
thing. How come nobody's reported on that?
right. And then okay, so then like because that's it. Like the courtroom opened a couple times. You know, you see a guy. He was a fairly young guy, maybe in his younger like 30s. He had a short haircut. He was wearing jeans and a little jacket. He was in there talking, yapping. He came out of the courtroom for a little bit, walked around, then went back in. And by that time, Frank Meister had gotten those documents printed off. And I kind of like, you know, went over there and jotted down what they were. And as I was jotting them down, when the door opened, that's how I looked over and saw Evans on the stand or on the bench. And then a little bit later went down the line, and I did notice that there was a police officer and another man in a dark suit that were entering into the courtroom. I'm not sure who they were, what it was that was pertaining to that, but it was a little bit longer. And then, of course, 7 minutes of 1 o'clock, they had McLeland, Holman, and Vito were escorted into the courtroom. And then right before the end of the stuff, Stacy Diener came out and indicated that she wanted to speak to family members. She was standing there and she was talking to them for just a second. I'm not sure what it was that they were.
You know what
about.
family members?
It was Kelsey, Tara, Amanda, Becky's sister. I'm not sure who the other lady that was next to her, but she was kind of just standing there like having a conversation. And then like not even a minute and a half later is when Liggett emerged from the courtroom screaming for everybody to shut up and that the hearing was canceled to the public and get your shit and get out.
Okay, hold on a second. Wait. So timing of this, Diener has already come out of the courtroom. She's already talking to the families.
Yes.
So she's talking to Anna's not there.
No, Anna was not there.
Was Anna's mom and stepdad there?
I didn't see them specifically standing there. This was more of like the German Patty side of the family that was standing there that Diener had come out to speak to.
Did Diener speak with Carrie?
I didn't see if she spoke with Carrie.
Okay.
I just like everybody was just kind of like standing there, you know what I mean? Like gathered, you know, there talking to her. It just, to me, like Kelsey and the guy that was with Kelsey and somebody else was like closer talking to Diener. So, yeah.
Okay, so Diener comes out of the courtroom first before Liggett, and Liggett hasn't even come out yet and screamed "shut up." Yeah, that hasn't happened yet. First person out of the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go through this real quick again. You get there. Shane Evans is playing judge for a little bit, checking to make sure that his feet touch the ground in his chair. He leaves. Yeah. There was some guy in the courtroom with a jean jacket on. He also leaves. And then Goal goes in, or you see Goal. Then you have Seagull. Then you have Holman and Liggett, Holman and Vito, you say enter the courtroom.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes of 1 o'clock with McLeland. So Liggett, Vito, or not Liggett, but Holman, Vito, and McLeland enter the courtroom at 7 minutes of 1 o'clock.
Holman, Liggett, and McLeland enter the courtroom at 7 after 1?
Holman, Vito, McLeland.
Did I say Liggett again?
Yes.
I don't know why the hell I have him on my brain. Get rid of him. Okay, no, it's my fault. I heard what you said, and I just repeated it completely incorrectly. Okay, Holman, Vito, and McLeland at 7 before 1 or 7 after 1?
7 before 1.
Okay. So they're in there. The next person who comes out is Diener.
Yes. and they had been there for a hot minute. So like 37 minutes or so, like 35 maybe, because they said that they ended proceedings at like 1:37, something like that. So
Right. So Diener comes out, talks to the family, and and so Diener's not in the courtroom whenever whatever's happening is happening. And so Liggett comes out and yells, "Shut up," to everybody.
Yep, and tells them that there's going to be no public hearing and that everybody needs to go. He's not given a reason why. Just everybody needs to boot, scoot, and boogie.
So he doesn't come out multiple times and tell people to be quiet, or
no.
And he's telling
they
everybody
came out the one
up.
time before this, and it was probably maybe, I don't know, like a 20 20 minutes, and then they came back out, and again, you know what I mean, from that point of telling everybody to shut up, came back out and said it was done. So
okay, so then once Liggett comes out, Diener's still out there, or has Diener gone back inside?
No, Diener was still standing out there talking to the family when Liggett emerged and said
Shut up.
that there was no public hearing going on with today.
Okay. The AM rulings. What did she rule on this morning?
I don't know. I have no idea, because nobody knows what happened. Nobody was allowed in there. Nobody was nothing. Like, we have no clue. Everybody's sitting around there wondering what in the world was going on.
Okay. So then everybody starts to disperse.
Yeah.
And then that's when Rosie leaves. So Rosie hasn't come out. When does Rosie come out to talk to
like
Kathy?
Right after Liggett had said that it was done, like Rosie came out.
Okay. So something definitely went down that the people were not very happy.
Yeah, I don't know what went down. I just know that, you know, Liggett was like instantly like angry. Like when he came out the courtroom, he was just mad. And then like when he told everybody they had to boot, scoot, and boogie, like he just had the mad face the entire time everybody was getting out of there.
Interesting. And so Kathy, they didn't even let Kathy back to see him like they normally do?
I don't know, because when I saw Kathy was waiting out in the area just like the rest of us.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder if we'll get to find out what actually happened. I think we're probably going to have to figure it out based on the filings.
Yeah, I don't know, because I haven't even had a chance to look at all the filings that came out today in depth or anything like that yet. Yeah.
So Rochelle said something about rulings from this morning. I don't remember. I don't know any rulings that she made this morning though, so I'm struggling with that.
I don't know anything about I don't know about rulings either.
You think so, Travis, or are you being facetious? That was in the Fox clip. Okay, I'll have to look for that. Ullman and Liggett have had conflicting statements more than one time. Anyone look on the docket to see if anything filed she could have made? Well, their hearings didn't start until 1 o'clock, so I don't know what she would have been doing this morning. The morning was closed. No, the 1 o'clock was closed. Nothing started till 1. This morning was closed, and its 30 days time is up. She had to rule. They weren't there this morning though. They didn't get there till later, right? Well, okay. What time did you get to the courthouse today?
10:04 a.m.
Okay, and were they in court at that time?
Not when we first got there. It was a little bit before they came into the building.
Okay.
I'm not sure the exact time they came into the building, but I know it was a little bit.
Before 1, right?
Yes, before 1.
But I don't know of any rulings that happened this morning. I know filings. We're going to go through the filings too, but I don't know if she has the 2 that are still outstanding. Other than that, I mean, she's already made her decisions on everything else. We're waiting on her decision for the motion in limine, and we're waiting on her decision to throw out the confessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reports of the public hearing was canceled, but the 1 o'clock was scheduled for the closed hearing.
Yeah, and then it had said it was listed as a status hearing, but nobody knows what happened with the morning hearings. Like nothing.
I don't think there was any morning hearings. It was scheduled at 1 o'clock.
Or
on her scheduling order.
Well, they were in there in the afternoons. I don't know if they did anything this morning. I don't think they did. Like I said, Shane was in there, but yeah, like I don't know what they did. All I know is that they wouldn't let anybody in. It was 1:37 and it was done. Like that's it. So
okay. All right. So Travis says, not in the filings. All the filings show is that the defense isn't fully ready. I don't think motion to quash has anything to do with the closed hearing. I don't think so either. The witnesses would have been coming through public. I don't think they were. This was just a status hearing, though. I don't think they were having anything to do with.
Yeah, it was just listed as a status
besides court, besides law enforcement. Woman thinks it might have been canceled due to Bacon Fest.
Maybe. There were a lot of people talking about going, so.
Going to Bacon Fest?
Yeah.
Jakey, no plea deal. Something must have transpired during this closed hearing to make the next one cancel. I have a theory on what I think it is, but I don't know. We haven't gone through the new filings yet. So there is new filings that came out today. We're going to go through them, but I wanted to get this part out because I know a lot of people are talking about, Ray-Ban Gate. So I need the True Grit Crime was kind enough to come up here.
Oh my gosh. Like I don't understand why something so minuscule turned in such a large fiasco. But yeah, I have no words for it. So it was a lesson learned.
So no more Ray-Ban sunglasses at the courthouse?
No, I'm not taking my sunglasses to the courthouse at all, period. Dot.
You need to get yourself just like a $5 Walmart pair and then you'll be done and you can just take those in.
I'm going to have to, for real.
You never know, Kathy. You never know. Maybe everybody was like, all right, it's Bacon Fest. Let's just bounce out of this and we're all here. So let's just go eat some bacon.
Could very well be.
Did you hear that I was watching a stream earlier with another young lady that was there and she was saying that everybody was getting tickets.
Tickets. Oh, yes. Okay, so as we were standing outside, like waiting, like people were like drawing out. The police were hot. They pulled over like 3 people as we were standing there and giving out tickets. So they were very cognizant of the speed in that square area there.
Bonkers Babe says, I wish she would have gotten that 20-second Liggett bitch fit with those cool glasses.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez. Those are bacon Twix. There might be bacon Twix. I don't know if they're going to be all left or right, though. Ooh, candied bacon. That's so yummy. All right. Well, thank you for coming up and telling us. Is there anything else that you want to share? Anything? Like I said, mods are dropping your link so people can go watch your video from when you got home.
Yeah, no, I want to be like upfront and transparent. I mean, I had no like ill will or intent or anything like that. They weren't charged. They weren't in working order. My phone was locked in the glove compartment of my car. I was not trying to violate any decorum or record anything. I just wanted to wear some sunglasses because that sun is bright as all get out. That's it. I don't know how it turned from, oh, she was taking video or photos or whatever, to that I'm going to jail and that I'm being locked up. Nope, I'm not locked up. My stuff is not gone. They gave it back to me upon returning. I openly gave them the glasses and said, here, take them. I really don't know what much more anybody wants. And I went through security twice, and those glasses went through the machine twice, and nobody said anything to me, period.
Well, that's fucking scary in itself, actually, to see
So
what.
all I'm saying is that I would have thought that if those were an issue, they would have looked at the glasses, and I would have thought that they would have addressed that to me. If they would have said, hey, listen, you can't have the glasses in there, I would have obligingly taken them back out to my vehicle and left it at that.
People are asking your challenge. It's True Grit Crime. I know the mods have dropped it in here a couple times, but I'll make sure to also add it in the description that she was on here. So, and she had gone to part of the 3-day hearings and was kind enough to come on and share all that with us. So if you are looking for her link and you cannot find it just through the search on YouTube of True Grit Crime, it'll be, like I said, I'll put it in the description. And so for me, I'm like, this is not a big deal. It was, there's nothing nefarious. I would have probably, knowing me, I just would have walked in with my sunglasses and wouldn't have thought anything of it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think anything of it. Like, I walked into the building, you know what I mean? And I put him through the thing, and I was just trying to protect my eyes, because that sun is like blasting for real from where I parked. Like, you got to walk kind of like a little bit uphill on this sidewalk. And when that sun hits you, when you're getting ready to go across the street, it's blinding.
So, well, like I said, we're going to get you a $5 pair of sunglasses so that we'll make sure they don't have any cameras.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys.
No, thank you for going. And I hope that it doesn't turn into anything else. There was no hearing. You didn't take them into a hearing. There was obviously no phone for you to have them connected to. I think with a little bit of research by any of these people, that I hope that it doesn't turn out where they're like, I'm sorry, you can't come in.
Right.
I mean, is it possible? Of course, it's this Judge Goal we're talking about. But I mean, I don't want that, because you do a great job going in there. You take time, you literally write down like the times things are happening, so we can see like the order of how things transpire, which is incredibly important, especially when we don't have enough information to like even piece anything together.
Yeah.
So I thank you for going.
Well, I thank you for letting me come on and talk about this, and, just set the record straight, because I don't think that it's right that people are going around trying to make it something that it's absolutely not.
I think it'll probably cease. It'll probably cease now, hopefully, now that it's been clarified.
So. I hope that this clears up any misunderstanding or misconception that anyone may have.
I hope so too.
So,
but thank you for coming on. We're going to go through the filings. I don't know if you've gone through them yet or not, if you want to hang out.
Yeah, I can hang out. I'm going to hang out and chat and listen to you. Thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful night.
Yes, you too.
Yep. Bye.
Those cheap sunglasses are where it's at with me. You think the metal detectors even work? I just don't like the fact that you could get something through there that they're not even paying attention to. I mean, obviously they're probably just looking for weapons, I would assume. And if it's just a metal detector, would it even matter? So I don't know. Oh, Angela. Oh yeah. Long story. So apparently these are like smart sunglasses, and they have like Bluetooth capability. So it kind of became like a big thing that she was just wearing the sunglasses and went into the courthouse, and she ended up having to remove the sunglasses. But there was never any. There was never a hearing, so there was nothing for the public to ever go into a courtroom for. But you never know what'll happen at the end of that. I mean, if you, like I said, Judge Goal is Judge Goal. She can do what she wants. It's her courtroom. She can say this person can't come in anymore. So it is what it is. I hope that that's not the outcome. I love her note taking. So, okay. So I think we covered everything from the hearing today. So we'll go to the filings. I was going to read a couple more articles, but like I said, I think we've covered all of anything, unless there's something popping out right now that I wasn't aware of. So my opinion is, you guys are asking for my theory, like not to hold out on it, but my opinion is that the filings from this morning on the information that the defense team is requesting, and then also the information that, you know, they still have a couple outstanding depositions that they're doing. So we have a couple subpoenas for information on Monica Walla, who was she testified at the hearing. Sorry, I need to take a drink real quick because my mouth is kind of dry. Just give me a second. Water. It's too hot for Dr. Pepper right now. I needed water. Mission Impossible spy glasses. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Goal caring about this shows how little she cares about the actual case. I don't even know if she actually will care about it. But I mean, I don't know why she just doesn't. We wouldn't even have this conversation if she just had transparency in the courtroom anyway. Nobody would fucking care. And here's one thing that I will tell you guys, or my opinion is, everybody, no matter whether you think Richard Allen is innocent, whether you think Richard Allen is guilty, or whether you sit on the fence or you're just waiting for the trial, I don't think there's anybody who follows this case that's like, yeah, we should not have access to these court hearings. Like, I don't think there's anybody who thinks we should not have transparency in this case, specifically when it comes to trial. So these types of conversations wouldn't even be relevant if we could actually have one media in there who is live tweeting. I mean, we can't even get that at this point. So like this whole weird media is allowed to bring in like a laptop. They bring in their phones. All of those have recording capabilities. So this is just like a far out push for authority, in my opinion, you know, because you guys all know how I feel about Goal. But no matter what side of the fence you sit on, I don't think there's anybody who's like, yeah, we shouldn't know what's going on in that courtroom. None of us need to know what's happening. So that's where I'm at with it. We wouldn't even have this discussion. It'd be silly. But so my opinion on is that there's some outstanding things that the defense team is waiting on, and now actually requesting a few more things. My opinion on why things would have gotten delayed today is whatever they had planned. Because remember, they're all back in communication via email now. We learned that from the 3-day hearing that they actually are talking to each other again, and they're so they may know exactly what they were going to be going over today, which we've speculated about, that the closed hearing was going to have to do with the stuff with the jury questionnaires or that got turned back in, what they were going to be doing, like what with voir dire and anything allowed like that. And so my opinion is that there is most likely something that they are missing on the defense side before they want to proceed with having these conversations, or before they want the judge to be able to rule on keeping the confessions out, the stuff with Monica Walla, and the motion in limine. So I think they want to be able to show her these specific pieces before continuing with the status hearing. And so they had asked for a shortened discovery response period. And this is why I think this is because they're asking for specific things to be turned over like pretty quick. So then they can have the status hearings and then be able to prepare for trial. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'll be right back. All right, you guys know all your talk about bacon. This is simply to cut time state entities have to respond from 30 days to 15. It's no big deal, other than the defense is behind the curve and way not ready in time. Right. So that's my thought, is I think that whatever they were going to be discussing today for the public hearing, they were like, hey, we don't have XYZ yet. It hasn't been turned over. We haven't deposed, or we're still requesting these particular items. So we want to wait and have the status hearing at a different time. That's my opinion on why I think that it got canceled. And I'm sure that one side, most likely the prosecution, was probably not happy about that, because then we get the motions to quash. So we're going to go through these, and then if you guys haven't seen them, my theory might not make a lot of sense to you. Or we could just not go through and we could just talk about bacon, because I fucking love bacon. So if we prefer to do that, I've got bacon ice cream, bacon pretzels. I feel like the shrimp guy on Bubblegum, on Bubblegum, bacon tacos, living the bacon dream. Nicole Bacon. Nicole, they're talking about you. No, Delphi has a bacon fest. So everybody this weekend is going to be a bacon fest. So everybody keeps talking about bacon now, because now it's around dinner time and everybody's starving. Everyone's talking about how much they love you. Yes, that's exactly it. Don't try bacon jelly beans. Jelly bellies. Oh, that'd be gross. No, it absolutely has to do with you. Everybody loves you because you're bacon. Rochelle says she ordered new evidence to be turned over within 7 days. Okay, so let's go through these, and then you guys can see if you think my theory makes sense, or if you have a different theory on what you think happened today. So this was one of the first. It's the motion for order to shorten discovery response period. So this is from the defense, requesting production to non-parties, dated on the 23rd, which is today. In support of the motion, the defendant, Allen, states the following. Defendant Allen is the accused. The jury trial is set to begin on October 14th. The parties are in the process of conducting discovery and have been ordered to exchange a list of trial exhibits by October 1st. Hey, holy shnikes. The mental health services provided by Dr. Monica Walla were called into question during pretrial proceedings in this case on July 31st. Defendant Allen has reason to believe that further employment-related investigations associated with Dr. Walla's conduct were carried out after the said pretrial proceedings, and therefore defendant Allen is pursuing information related thereto. So you can see the request for the production to non-party, which we have those. Defendant Allen intends to tender the attached non-party request to each of the referenced non-parties and seeks a waiver of the 15-day response period required by 34C of the Indiana Rules of Trial Procedure. Defendant Allen further seeks an order shortening the 30-day response period permitted by 34C to defendant Allen's non-party request for production of documents. Defendant Allen seeks the shortened timeframes in an effort to allow the adequate time to review any discovery received, conduct any further discovery necessary based upon the receipt of the information, and to consider whether or not said discovery will be included in the trial exhibit list, which must be exchanged by October 1st. Specifically, defendant Allen seeks an order eliminating the 15-day notice period to the state of Indiana. Defendant Allen further seeks to shorten the 30-day response period by the Indiana Department of Corrections to 15 days. Said request to shorten the time frame is not unduly burdensome on the state or any of the third parties. Defendant Allen believes that said request is in the interest of judicial economy. So that's one, and then they put in a second one, states a lot of the same information, but they're looking for the mental health services provided by Dr. Waller were called into question. Defendant Allen has reason to believe that her employment-related investigations, essentially saying Dr. Walla was investigated after she testified. And so we want to know what that information is. The requests were served to the state via email on August 13th. The state of Indiana declined to waive the 15-day notice period. When said waiver was sought out by defense counsel, the 15-day notice period is set to expire on or about August 28th. Counsel intends to direct the non-party request for the production relevant to the relevant parties on August 28th. In the absence of any motions filed by the state between now and that time, counsel desires that the 30-day response period by the Indiana Department of Corrections, Indiana Attorney General, and Centurion provided for in Trial 34C be shortened to 15 days. Said request to shorten the time frame is not unduly burdensome to any of the third parties, and counsel believes that it is in the interest of judicial economy that the court issue an order shortening the time frame from 30 to 15 days. saying, hey, we want this information, but we want it quicker than what Rule 34C says we're allowed to have it. And we need the judge to say it's okay and to tell the prosecution that, you know, you're agreeing to it and we don't have to give them all this notice. We just want the information so we can decide whether it's going to be important. And if it's going to be important and we're going to include it in any of our trial exhibits, we have until October 1st to be able to turn that over. And then we have jury selection starting on October 14th. So they're trying to get this additional info, but the rules state they have a lot longer to turn the info over. And the defense is like, we don't have that kind of time. We need it now. So one of the requests for non-party, so everything in here is essentially the same. It's just this is just a subpoena for the information. I'm not going to read through that twice, so it's just what it is. But the most important piece of what they're asking for is a complete copy of the employment file on Dr. Monica Walla, including but not limited to performance evaluations, attendance records, internal investigations regarding employment matters, and conflict of interest statements. So this is what they're saying. Hey, this is what we want from Indiana Department of Corrections. Please let us have it faster than the rule allows it to be. Okay, does that make sense? So this is just all the requests, who they're sending it to, the Attorney General. But like I said, the most important thing here is this piece. If I can highlight it. Oh shit, I hit it all weird. This piece right here. So it's 9 pages, but it's repetitive. So this is the first subpoena that they're asking for, and they're sending it to multiple people. Indiana Attorney General. Where's the other one? Centurion, and the other one should be the Department of Corrections. Does it make sense? So then the second one, same concept. It's 6 pages. They're asking for, the important part here is this one. Okay, so a copy of any Indiana Department of Correction files associated with the conduct of Dr. Monica Walla while providing services for the Indiana Department of Corrections, including but not internal affairs investigations or investigations conducted by any other agent of the Indiana Department of Corrections. Let me see. They had 14 days to give up everything they had hidden, and then only 7 days to turn over anything brand new. That was her order to Nick, right? For discovery purposes. So this isn't part of discovery. This is information and what could be evidence, exhibits. Can you even read that? Hold on, let me make it bigger. Oh, that's too big. There we go. So this isn't technically having to do with the discovery turnover. This is simply due to they want this additional information because remember, Nick wants to put Walla on the stand. Kind of tinfoil hat club, kind of. So there was 2 parts to the status hearing. There was a closed part and then a public part. They did hold some of the closed part. We don't know what it was for, and we don't know if they accomplished what they set out to. And then the public part was canceled. Hey, Hammy. Jess said you have turkey testicles, Francis? Jess has never told me that about you. Oh, it's a turkey testicle festival. I don't know why DB would be coming for your name. He's not even DB. I mean, his name is not DB. Sometimes. Graduate from Delphi School of Law. Class of Thursday. I'm curious as to what rank Tricky Nikki was in his law school class. You guys are still up here talking about fucking bacon. They should have had all of this done 2 years ago. Well, I don't think with the Wallace stuff, it really comes down to that this is newer information that they've gotten based on her deposition, based on the testimony at the hearings at the end of July, beginning of August. And so so they're asking for her employment record, anything, all of her evaluations, like, her performance evaluations, like from an employer standpoint. And here they're asking for any type of information due to this investigation that they believe started happening after she testified. 37 minutes, Heather. 37 minutes. So the hearing was set to start at 1, and the media has reported that by 1:37 it was over. So 37 minutes is what we know. So the other one is from her actual boss, or from her actual company that she works for. Yeah, she is being investigated for accessing KK's data. That's a demon crusher. So this one is going to the Department of Corrections, and this one is to the Attorney General. So, but same thing. So it's just copies of it. Hey, Carla. So that's those two. So that all kind of goes together. All 4 of those documents that came out today, they all really kind of tie in together as one. It's all about Walla. So this is the 2 requests to the judge saying, hey, we're asking for, we have these subpoenas for this info. We just want it faster than we're typically allowed to have it so that we can be prepared to put this on our evidence list if needed by October 1st. And then these 2 are the actual subpoenas to, one is to 3 places, one is to 2 places, and what they're requesting from them regarding Dr. Monica Walla. Okay. So that's what the defense put in today. So that was my whole thing. Like, I think, lived in Rockford for 13 years. Young black economist. I'm from Belvedere. That's where I was born, was in Belvedere. Yeah, 37 minutes is a decent amount of time to discuss a few things. They're not defending, the defense is not just defending Richard Allen due to their job. They fervently believe that he is innocent. I believe they believe that, yes. We could probably reconstruct Walla's work record if we track down all the lawsuits all her happy clients have filed after receiving her care. Your dad worked at the Chrysler plant? Did they shut that down again? I know it went down and then it came back up and then it went down. Yeah, I was just there in Belvedere last year that's where my dad was buried. He was a cop. He was a Rockford cop, a Belvedere cop, and a Cherry Valley cop. So Dr. Walla is not good at all. Well, it's interesting because most people, once she testified, really thought that she was very forthcoming. She was very honest, and that she was very compassionate. But all of those things are fine for her to testify about and to be as like a person, but as her job title and her job role is that she can't be doing the things that she was doing and maintain the job that she held. And if Nick wants to put her on the stand, the defense is saying, hey, we want some info about her so that we can come back and say, hey, this is obviously an issue. But people who were in the court hearing said that even like Rosie and Baldwin seemed to actually like her. So they didn't go too hard at her, even knowing that she is not doing what she was supposed to. I feel like most people was Bob. It wasn't actually. Most people said that they liked her. And it was interesting, Hammy, too, because some of the very pro-prosecution or pro-Richard Allen is guilty, they were thinking that most people who take the side of the defense are going to be like, oh, see, now she's okay because she was so nice and helpful, which to me, I think that she's a disaster waiting to happen. I don't know why Nick would ever put her on the stand or even want her on the stand. I think it's a dumb move on his part, which we've talked about when we very first found out who she was. when he put it out. And then we found her in the Facebook groups. And then because I'm from that area, I actually have family members that were Facebook friends with her. And I'm like, son of a biscuit eating bulldog. She is. She's from Illinois. They moved away like a decade ago. I lived close to Cherry Valley from 4 to 17 years old. You 100% know my high school. I probably do. It's a small world. Yeah, I moved around a lot when I was young, but I was born in Illinois. And then when I was about 5, 6 years old, we moved to Ohio, moved to Indiana, moved around Indiana. And then we moved to Tennessee for a hot minute. It was super quick. And then we were back to Indiana, and then Indiana to Central California to Southern California. And then I moved back to Illinois, more Central Illinois, and then Southern Illinois. And then in my mid-20s, moved back to Southern California. So, but my family's, most of my dad's whole side of his family is in Illinois, Wisconsin area. So, okay. Then we have the next two. What does Walla look like? She's a young lady. I mean, she's a young woman, maybe 30, 40s. She's like short brown hair, brownish hair. She's, I mean, attractive younger lady. She's not like old. She's not she's not a super old lady. Probably around my age, maybe a little bit younger. Is Francis still talking about testicles? Oh, no. I can't even look at your comments. Yeah, she didn't really even, I mean, it's just tough because, like I said, people were like, she was nice, I guess, but I mean, she didn't know she didn't even know like the policies and procedures that she was supposed to know. I was expecting some old lady. Yeah, no, she's young. Hey, Jeanette. I never lived outside of Rockford, Illinois, but my brother went to Champaign-Urbana. See, so I lived down there. I lived in Danville, or I lived in Georgetown, worked in Danville. And then I moved way south to a tiny little town called Alney. Hey, Jennifer. Many have made comments about DOC site providers being subpar. That's untrue, especially for research studies, because the environment is contained, limited external factors. Well, and yeah, and I mean, and let's think about the type of clients that they have. So I think that the DOC site providers are going to be, they got a tougher role. They got a tougher job. But she should have known her policies and procedures, and she should have known what she was allowed and was not allowed to do, which it seems that she did, and she chose to do it anyway. So I don't get your Jennifer. Don't be mad at me, Jennifer. I don't know your Jennifer Melfi reference. Does it have to do with bacon? After the trial is over, when you hear about the professional disciplinary proceedings, an NM will get sanctioned at some point. I don't know. Without an external investigation happening into this case, I don't see anybody getting in trouble for shit. That's where I'm at. Would Miku say? I mean, Walla is subpar. She violated so many things, right? That's not like, she can be nice, she can be sweet, she can be caring, but it doesn't make her do her job. I've never watched The Sopranos, Jennifer. Never seen it. Oh, we got a fucking turducken. That's Travis. Travis likes the turduckens. Hey, Ariel. Okay, so motion to quash. So then we get these two filings from the state via Nicholas McClelland, and he is. So I'll just read this one. Pursuant to 45B of the Indiana Rules of Trial Procedure, request that the court quash. I always want to say squash, but it's quash. Quash it. Stop it from happening. The subpoenas that have been issued for, you guys probably can't see this one. Let me make it bigger. Have been issued for Patrick Westfall, his son, Nick Westfall, and Tobe Lesenby to be deposed in the above captioned matter. In support of said motion, the state asked the court to consider the following. The defendant served the state with subpoenas to depose Patrick Westfall and Nick Westfall on August 28th, and then Tobe Lesenby on September 13th, 2024. I'll tell you guys, honestly, the first time I read this, I was like, fucking Nick, those dates haven't even come up yet. I was like, oh, damn, my bad. I was like, oh, that's when he wants to actually, that's when they want to actually depose them. So Patrick and Nick are scheduled to be deposed on August 28th, and Tobe is scheduled to be deposed on September 13th. So the state believes that the depositions of Patrick and Nick Westfall are unreasonable and that they are not relevant to any issues in this case. The state believes the testimony of the deponents is not relevant and is not exculpatory in any way to the defendant. Further, that a deposition is an effort by the defense to annoy, embarrass, or oppress the deponent or party. The depositions of these deponents is set for August 28th. The state reached out to the defense to attempt to move the deposition until after the court has made its ruling on third-party motive. But the defense refuses to move the depositions. So this is what I was saying, you guys. For me, I think this is part of it. They want to depose Patrick Westfall and Nick Westfall and say, hey, here's more information on why third party is important. And Nick is like, no, we do not want you deposing anybody else until third party is ruled on. And so I think that has a point of contention from today on why the next part ended up being canceled. The public part ended up being canceled. I believe that most likely they are going to get to depose them because from everything that we keep being told by people who've been in Gull's courtroom, Gull is supposedly a very, very good judge. And if she is a good judge, they have to err on the side of not fucking up Richard Allen's constitutional rights and giving him the opportunity to prove this before trial is better for trial, if that makes sense. So, but they put it here that they want to annoy, embarrass, or oppress. I struggle with this because nobody complained from the state side when Brad Holder was being deposed. So why all of a sudden do they care if Patrick Westfall is deposed? And if I was the defense, I wouldn't reschedule the depositions either. I want the information from the depositions to be able to further my proof of why I think it's important. You know, obviously, if he's interviewed by law enforcement back in September and they take his phone and he only has, 11 days or something silly. It may have been even less than that. Because he had just gotten a new phone as soon as he knew he was about to go in to be interviewed by the cops. Why wouldn't the defense want to depose him and ask questions regarding other information that they have and see what his answers are, and then see if he also continues to say the same things over and over again? I don't see that this is where I'm going to come in and say, if third party defense is really not true, if there is no other person besides Richard Allen and he's the guy, why do we care who else gets deposed? I mean, Nick isn't a victim advocate for fucking Patrick and Nick Westfall. Yes, they want to try to delay the depositions until after she rules on it, which is, it's pointless. They need the information from the depositions to continue on why it would be constitutionally wrong for her to deny third party. None of that should be closed. I don't think it was necessarily that was the closed part. I think that was what they were going into for the open part. I think they were going to be talking about her decisions and whatever else they wanted to add to the third party and the motion in limine. And I think that the open part ended up being canceled due to those two factors. I think the defense is saying, hey, we don't have these depositions done yet. We want to still depose these people. And I think that the stuff with Monica Walla, they're like, hey, we want to have all of that stuff before you rule on the motion in limine, or the motion for admissibility. The motion for admissibility from Nick is what it was, right? The motion of admissibility. That's the two. So I think they want this additional info. So I think they're like, hey, we have this stuff. And then she's like, well, then there's no reason to have this next part of our hearing. We're not ready for it. That's just my opinion. I have no idea. I could be totally wrong. Don't try to tell on her. She can discuss balls all she wants. You're the one that has to be no balls. Oh, ugly balls. Ugh, no. Said by Mind Shock, but it's true. Hold on, I missed it, Scott. Hold on. Truth is not scared of investigation. Exactly. That's a good saying. I think that open was a play on being transparent. Yeah, I think they were going to go into this kind of stuff, and the defense was just like, "Hey, judge, listen, we're not prepared to do that. We still have this stuff." And she was like, "Fine, let's just end it then." And then you get Nick, who's all pissed off because he wants these motions to quash, and she's probably like, "No, they can go ahead and depose him. There's, that's his legal right." I can't even look at chat. It is Friday. That's no wonder. Fridays and Saturday lives always turn into this kind of stuff. Every time. So let's see. They won't move the depositions. The state believes the deposition of Tobe Lesenby is cumulative and oppressive in nature. The state believes that the deposition is being done in bad faith in an effort to annoy, embarrass, or oppress the deponent or party. Tobe was already deposed on August 9th of 2023 by the defense. The state believes that all relevant topics were covered by the defense in that deposition. That the state believes the defense intends to cover the same topics in an effort to harass, annoy, embarrass, or oppress Tobe Lesenby. He was the fucking sheriff. Give me a break. He can be deposed as many times as they want to. He was the gosh darn sheriff. I think that's ridiculous. And my assumption would be they want to depose Tobe after they get the information that they believe that they're going to get from the other depositions. And then they want to see if his story matches. So I know that poor Tobe doesn't want to be embarrassed. Okay, so this is the other one. For me, I like those are that's just how it's going to go. So this is the next one by Nick. This one was a little bit more interesting. So this is the motion to quash the subpoena for David Schilling, who is scheduled to be deposed in the above captioned matter. In support of said motion, the state asked the court to consider the following. The defendant served the state with a subpoena to depose David Schilling on August 28th. So David Schilling is listed as the state's witness. The state listed him as a rebuttal witness to testify as an expert on Odinism. So now, since he's on the prosecution's witness list, the defense wants to depose him to know what he was going to say. The state is essentially saying, no, you can't depose him. We don't want you to depose him because we're not actually calling him as a witness. We're calling him as a rebuttal witness. And the difference in those is a witness is going to come forth and they're going to give you facts that they know from previous. A rebuttal witness is going to sit in the courtroom as an expert, is going to sit in the courtroom, listen to what the defense's expert testifies to, and then they're going to be called to the stand in order to say, hey, what this person said is not true. So they don't have a testimony that they're coming forth with and just sitting there and putting out. So he's saying there's no reason for him to be deposed because he doesn't have a testimony that he's just going to sit there and testify to. He's only going to testify to go over how if they still use Perlmutter. If they use Perlmutter, then we're going to you know, we're going to put him on the stand and so he can say how Perlmutter doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. So he doesn't think that this David Schilling should be deposed. David Schilling is studied Odinism. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. I wonder if I can. Schilling. So this is a website for so it's DJ Schilling, Criminal Justice Training and Consulting LLC. I specialize training for law enforcement and corrections. So he has classes that are available to go over Norse and Germanic runes, ciphers, Asatru, Odinism, cultural practices, and jail intelligence processes when it comes to this stuff. And he offers this to law enforcement. I find this extremely intriguing for two reasons. Do you guys remember when Perlmutter took the stand and everybody was like, there's no such thing, there's no reason to research it, it doesn't really exist, there are no sacrifices, there's none of this stuff happening, it's not real, nobody believes in it. But then you have this guy who literally is a quote-unquote teacher to law enforcement about Odinism and Norse paganism and runes and all of this stuff. I mean, for me, I'm like, yeah, of course it exists. We all know it does. We have guards that are, you know, traipsing around in their Viking costumes. But I'm just like, I think it's kind of funny that now this guy is going to be, you know, totally above par and know everything. But Perlmutter, whatever she studied was just garbage because it doesn't exist, right? I'm like, make that make sense. So he talks. This is everything he goes over. So this is just like his website, and then he has. Let me go back and see if I can find that now. So he has this book called Norse, Germanic Runes and Symbols. It's a field reference guide for law enforcement and corrections, the Jail Intelligence series. No, that is actually a different guy, Jennifer, which I'm curious. I am interested to hear what he has to say. You know, I want to listen to them all. I want to hear what that guy has to say because he's been studying it too. His name is Mark. Does anybody remember his name? The one that Gray, they're the ones that are doing the Pursuit podcast. Let me see if I can remember his name. It's Mark something. Mark starts with an M. Hold please, I'll tell you. But different guy than this one. And then I wrote down his name. Mirabello. Dr. Mark Mirabello. So he's a different guy. Yeah, Anthony Greeno. Yeah. So Greeno and CJ, which is Casey from the channel used to be Case Closed with CJ. They did an interview with Dr. Mark. What did I just say his name was? Mirabello. I can't remember his name. So they have a podcast and they apparently interview him on the podcast. So I am interested to see what he has to say. But so this guy is different. This is the one that is on the state's witness list. So obviously he's not going to be doing any interviews until after the trial would be over anyway. But it's Norse Germanic Runes and Symbols Field Reference Guide for Law Enforcement and Corrections, the Jail Intelligence series. So I ordered this. It should be here this weekend, so I can see what he actually has to say. And then we'll do a live and talk about what he has to say. Maybe I can see if Adrian. I don't know if she's still here. She may have left already. But if Adrian wants to come on and talk about, she's so good. She's so good at this kind of stuff. Way more knowledgeable than I'll ever be. No, it's okay. Once again, like there's people who like them. There's people who don't like them. I do my best to try to get along with I like different people's opinions. I like to see where they're coming from. So, I'll listen. I mean, that's the bottom line, is I'm going to listen, and I don't, he's definitely not going to be. So, but there's people who don't like him, and I get that too. I understand why. I get it. But I'm interested to listen to Dr. Mark Mirabello and see what he has to say. But this guy, on the other hand, is the one that's going to be the rebuttal witness for the state. So I ordered the book, and we should have it here on Sunday. I think Saturday or Sunday. But so his name is David Schilling. Goes by DJ Schilling if you guys want to look him up. All right, let me go back to the filing. So that's who he is. And so the defense wants to depose him to find out what he's going to be testifying to. Well, you can't depose somebody on a testimony they don't already have. So if the state isn't calling him to be like, hey, this is your testimony, this is the report, this is the presentation you put together. Oh, that would be cool. I do. So, and I try to say this anytime we talk about it. Obviously, it's like every religion has people on the outskirts of it that like to be on the fringe. And just because we talk about Odinism does not mean that anybody who practices Asatru, Norse paganism, Odinism is, a crazy, person who's out trying to kidnap girls. Like, that's not what I believe. And I typically use the comparison of Lori and Chad Daybell. Like, they say that their religion is, kind of under the umbrella of Mormonism, but they've taken it to their own level of whatever they think they've created out of an actual religion. And so not do I believe that everybody that is a Mormon thinks that their children are turning into zombies and that they are going to be named 50 different things after they die and how to get rid of them. Like, obviously there's fringe people. Christians, you're going to find the same thing. Every religion, you're going to find the same thing. So when we say the religion, I'm only saying the religion, the title of the religion, so that people know what we're talking about, not because of the fact that I think that everybody who belongs in this religion is like off their fucking rocker. But I do think that they do. I do think that there are people that are part of this religion and every other one that is off their fucking rocker. These headphones, as someone who was born and raised Mormon, you'd be surprised. I actually have a lot of Mormon friends. When I was younger, I dated a Mormon guy, and he was like, is that going to be an issue? And I was like, I don't even know what that means. Like, why would it be an issue? I didn't know anything about, big world stuff at that point in my life. Even though, when I'm telling you, when I was like 16, 17, I knew everything in the whole world. There wasn't anything I didn't know until I realized I didn't know shit. So maybe we can do. Maybe we should do that. If you guys would be willing to come up and give your take on it. I don't know how big the book is. And they do, they don't really like, authors don't really like it when you read too much of their book. So that's another, kind of sidestep. Somebody had told me about a website where you could download a lot of books, though, and now I forgot what that website is. Oh, Jennifer, not at all. Yeah, her whacked out version of Mormonism. Oh, that's fucking badass. I'm not religious, but I have met Norse gods, especially Loki, who I called father and yelled at for breaking a promise. Did my boyfriend wear magic underwear? No, he did not. He just wore normal underwear. If I dated a Mormon, I went to a dance. We did dance. We did dance. Not a school dance, though. But we did dance. Okay, let me see what else there is. Let me see what else there is in here that's important. But that's my biggest takeaway on this, that the state listed him as a rebuttal witness to testify as an expert in Odinism, that the information on Odinism has been challenged by the state in a motion in limine where the state has asked the court to exclude any testimony in relation to Odinism for the trial. So obviously Nick is not confident that that's happening because he already does have Yeah, KO, he did not have this. Promise you that. If they're putting they already have their expert ready for rebuttal with the thought that Gold is going to let it in. So there's that. That the state believes the deposition of David Schilling is unreasonable and that it is not relevant to any issues in this case. The state believes the testimony of the deponent is not relevant and is not exculpatory in any way to the defendant. Further, that a deposition is an effort by the defense to annoy, embarrass, or oppress. That I don't believe that at all. They just want the information. They want the information way beforehand so that they're not just being surprised with whatever this person's going to say when they come take the stand. Veronica. The deposition is set for August 28th. The state reached out to the defense in an attempt to move the deposition until after the court has made its rulings on third-party motive, but the defense refuses to move the depositions. This one could go either way. She could just say, hey, there's no issue with deposing him if he doesn't have anything to really offer, then they're not going to really be able to get much information. Or, hey, you're going to use him as a rebuttal witness and you stuck him on your witness list, so they have every right to depose him under Indiana state law. There's a lot of this one I think is more there's more of a chance she could say, yeah, you're not deposing this guy. But the other one, I don't think she's going to cut that out. But I don't know what the issue with deposing any of these people is. Jenny, 8675309. There's Adrian. I don't know why would Nick care? If this guy doesn't have anything to offer, he goes in there and that's it. I don't see how the defense is going to depose these people in order to embarrass them. I mean, or because they're going to stick their name in another filing. Well, I mean, they're part of the case now. Their names are already in filings. And how is that creating oppression? How is the defense oppressing any of these people by asking them questions during a deposition? Oh, Schilling was on episode 32 on the Prison Officer podcast. Hold on, I'm going to write that down. The Prison Officer podcast. Episode 32. Okay. Yeah, I don't either, Susan. An actual practitioner of Norse Germanic paganism. If we have anybody who's listening now or that is listening on the replay that is an actual practitioner of Norse Germanic paganism and would be willing to come on and talk, I would absolutely love that. I would love to hear, what they think of people on the fringe of their own religion and like how they practice it. I have had a viewer reach out to me that her husband does practice. I wonder if she's still around. That was a long time ago, and she was talking to me about some of the tattoos and stuff that he had and things that he practiced and how it had obviously anything to do with white supremacy or anything like that. But I think that would be really interesting. He's saying the part, I saw your number on the wall. I said, yeah, probably because T put it there, to dox me. I do it all the time. Screams of bad faith and irrelevancy. I just don't, I let him talk to him. Who cares? There's a YouTuber who studies runes. That language is just quoting the rule that is a basis to quash a subpoena, avoid oppression, embarrassment. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I still don't, I don't think that makes sense though. So it's just quoting the 40, whatever, 45B. This is why I love you, Travis. Well, for many reasons, but this is one of them. Brian James would be fucking badass to hear from, but everybody kind of makes me feel like he's a real scary dude. So, but I think that would be an amazing person to talk to. Stop it, Francis. I think all religion is BS too, but linking the Old Norse religions to weird Nazi behavior is done a lot recently by these fringe guys. Yeah. Is there a YouTuber who studies runes? I mean, there's Adrian, who I know knows a shit ton about them, but I don't know if there's somebody. Ooh, reach out to @the Norse Witch. Is that a YouTube person? Norse Witch. Let's see. Ooh. She is a YouTuber. Discover Norse paganism, witchcraft, and Scandinavian folk magic. She said, my name is Benti, and I'm the Norse witch. I'm a dirty heathen, and I practice witchcraft inspired by both pre-Christian Nordic magic as well as trolldom. On my channel, you'll find videos on all things heathenry, witchcraft, and folk magic every Wednesday and Sunday. Some of them are more educational, some more entertainment-based. I'm trying to balance both. I'm queer, and inclusion is important to me. So there is a safe space for anyone, no matter your sexuality, gender, or ethnicity. But if you're a Nazi or a white supremacist, better see yourself out right away. Ooh. I'll watch a couple of her videos, and then I'll see if maybe I'll send her an email. Doesn't look like she's actually been on for. Oh no, 2 days ago she uploaded a video. She hasn't done lives for a while, but she has been uploading. She's pretty. She's got some badass tattoos. Hold on, you guys can't see this, can you? Sorry, oopsie. I was all in my own world. My own world. Cold truth. You got to go to the hearing, the hearing that didn't actually happen. Be careful with that, T. I know, right? I think Brian James. Do you think Brian James would like pop on for an interview? Ah. Yeah. I don't know. Let me see. You can see her tattoos. I don't want to play her because I don't know her and I don't want her to get pissed off and then I have to deal with a copyright thing. It's true. It's true, Travis. But I don't know if you can see her tattoos. Here, I'll stick her link in here in case you guys want to check out her channel too. Ah, why is it not doing what I want? Thank you. There's that one. Cold truth. Any takeaways from today that you want to share? That you like anything that you heard, thought, saw that you thought was important? Are you going to do a live on the hearing that never happened? Ooh, that would have been a good one. The hearing that never was. That's a good title. Title it that. Not only am I telling her she's going live, but I'm also naming her live for her. Oh, shit. My uncle was briefly an Odinist in prison to protect himself. He doesn't do the internet things, though. Well, I know a lot of people, when they go to prison, they become all kinds of things that they didn't know they were. That's okay, Scott. The shadow hearing, yeah. Jay says, I'm a dirty heathen. Sounds like my channel. Well, yeah, otherwise, I mean, you have to have the whole, once you're in prison, you have to have the whole backing of a crew. Otherwise, then you get beat on by everybody? Okay, I'll send you a link. Where should I send it? Where do you want it? Where do you want it? Cold Truth says no lie, but she'll pop up and tell us a little bit about it. But then I'll have to change my title to The Hearing That Never Was. The Hearing That Shall Not Be Named. The ruling on the limine is overdue unless they agreed. So that's what I think happened. I think that there's a possibility that there might be an agreement like, hey, we're still waiting on this additional information we'd like to give you, and so that we don't have to refile it. Or I'll just drop it in here. I'll drop it in chat. True Grit Crime came up and she was telling us a little bit. So I'm curious about like different people's perspectives on how they interpreted what happened today or what they heard, what they saw. I thought the limine was the closed door court today. We don't actually know. We don't know what it was. We've all kind of been speculating what we think was happening behind the closed door, but we don't know. She never told anybody what it was actually for. So we just all kind of just took guesses. I'd be trying to get in the wrong gang before I even get there. Like, do you just go to the first one that recruits you? You're just like, wait a minute. Does anyone know the one that was running out of time? One that was running out of time? As in the like what ruling was running out of time? I don't think she really cares. I mean, she took how many months to rule on Frank's 3 and 4? Like, we didn't know what her ruling was going to be. I think she did it so she didn't get all this shit about not actually reading it. The limine. It was who was going to judge the bacon eating contest. I'm thinking that they talked about this bacon fest. They're like, we're out. We're going to the bacon fest. Yeah, how do you even get in? Like, how do you get into the game? Is it just, do they pick you? I don't know enough about prison stuff to be able to answer that. I don't know. I'd be making calls as soon as I felt the jury wasn't going my way. I'd call my neighbors, any dude I see standing around like, bro, what game can I join when I get in? What's up, cracking? Bacon and coffee are life. You missed all the bacon talk. And then there was balls talk. There was turkey balls, all kinds of foul balls. Oh, shit, I cracked myself up. But what if they don't want you? What if, like, your race doesn't want you? What do you do? Yeah, I would think if I knew that I was going to be in court for like if I was going to trial for something like big like this, that I was going to end up in prison, I think that you'd probably have to start submitting some applications somewhere. I think. Mel, what's up?
Hi.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. I got
all right. So you got to go today to the hearing that never.
It was just, oh my gosh, it was just so full of excitement and knowledge and drama, and it was just everything I wished it would be. Listen.
So what happened? What was your perspective of what went down?
Okay, so the first thing that happened is the person that I went with, she's local, so she knows like the sheriffs, she knows everybody. So she sees her friend and she's just like going straight for him, right? So I'm following her along. I think Frank might have been with us. He was walking by us and we're just walking to, I guess there's an elevator there. And the next thing you know, like Richard Allen and like 8 big, they come out of the elevator and they're like, get back. And of course I'm a freezer. So
like, I'm just
Oh my
stop right here.
I told her, I was like, I am so glad they didn't touch me and like pick me up by my armpits and haul me backwards because I froze.
We told you to move. Okay, stay over there.
I think I backed up a bit. Glad I didn't fall either. So then the elevator must be real slow because we went through, there's like, it's a atrium type circular thing. So there's marble steps and they're like probably 6 feet wide, spiraled kind of.
Is that
So
the
we
one that
go-
we see the picture of Richard Allen coming down? I thought that was Allen County for some reason. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong. Keep going.
I mean, a lot of courtrooms that I've been to are kind of similar.
Okay.
Like, yeah, but it's old, so it's a beautiful. My thing I was looking at, I'm like, I wonder who has to get up there and clean that. I know. I think of the weirdest things. But
probably would have thought the same,
listen,
though.
here's a warning for anyone that does go the bathroom. There is a concrete step up as soon as you open the bathroom door. So hopefully I'll save someone from face planting on the marble. Just that's a FYI
On
for
the
you.
bathroom floor.
Yeah, it's so great. It's like a whole, it's right there too. You open the door and the step is, it's a full step up to get into the bathroom. I'm like, if you're not paying attention,
You're going face down.
Yeah. But it was cold in the bathroom. So I was in there hanging out because it was all hot and anxiety for a
Well, yeah,
bit.
you literally just almost ran into Richard Allen.
Yeah, we did. And so as we're like I said, we're talking about a 6-foot berth here on the top of these stairs. So we are getting onto the 3rd floor as he's getting off of the elevator. And it was like people always talk about his eye, like looking at him and like his just looks like these killer eyes. He did stare though. Like he's a starer. But
Is it like awkward stare, like, or is it just like he just doesn't blink? You know what I mean? Like, is it like he's like,
yeah, he's walking straight, so 6 feet of turning his head, and he looked at Frank, and then he looked at me, and then it was just like, oh, like this is like a gaze, like a whole like little thing.
like, was there like eye contact?
Yeah, yes, because other people have said that. I'm just like, oh, whatever, like whatever. But my thing was, I have a relative that is a starer, like a gazer. Like he looks at people, and it doesn't have any intent. You know what I mean? It's not bad. It's not good. It's just what he does, but it does make people uncomfortable, because it's so long, and you're just like, are you going to speak?
Are you gonna blink?
Or like, what's happening here?
Like, how long are we doing?
Vibe I got.
Are you gonna win or are you gonna win?
Right, like, are you talking to me, or are you just like locking up? I don't know what's happening, but so I have that's my like measuring stick for this, because I have sat across from multiple murderers at this point in my non-paying career.
Like, for the amount of money that I don't make, I've actually made eye contact with a lot of killers.
I really have. I've sat across from several.
So
I
did
mean,
he make you feel like did he give off like an evil, like, because there's
Yeah.
killers that can give off like good personality and you're like, that guy like doesn't seem like he did anything, and then there's the ones that you can feel like an evil, like there's
and that's my murderer thing is I said, with Anthony Dabaya, like, I don't know, I don't want to say the word like PTSD, because that for me is like I didn't go through a war, I didn't survive like something horrible, but when I did that with Anthony Dabaya, he murdered his son and he dismembered him and put him in 3 states. And that was sitting across from evil, the eyes, like, and some others, but it's not like we were, we weren't 3 feet away from Richard Allen. It was maybe 5, but it was just I don't know. It was just a weird, scary thing. But for me, I think people think that it's like this evil, just, maniacal thing because his eyes they're kind of beady. You know what I mean by that? Like they're beady. So I think I think maybe that's why people think it's like a mean stare or something. I
I think
don't
it's a
know.
glare. Like he's glaring at them versus just like looking at them. I also wondered when this came up the last time if he actually like starts to recognize certain people. Like, like this person's been in every one of my hearings. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and he starts to like see who's there and who isn't. So he's like looking around, like, almost staring because he's trying to capture all of these people around. He doesn't have that many people around him anyway.
Yeah. I do appreciate that the guards or whatever they're called, they didn't pick me up though.
As you just froze, you're like, shit, it's right there.
Well, you got that momentum of walking forward, and then all of a sudden you're confronted by like an army. I mean, they have him.
Have you seen Richard Allen before? Have you been to any of his hearings before?
No, this was my first.
Is he tiny?
Oh, he's so little.
Is he what you thought he would be though? Like knowing how we hear he's tiny, did you think like, okay, yeah, that matches exactly what I thought, or is he tiny?
Yeah, it pretty much about matched.
Okay.
What I thought, I was thinking of like Greeno size, so that was and yeah, pretty much the
I
same.
think Greeno's like 5'8", 5'10".
No, Greeno's shorter than me. I'm 5'7".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a little guy in person. So I was kind of thinking, okay, well, if like I kind of had that reference. So, and I know how tall I am, and if someone is 5'4", then my daughter's 5'4". So, but he did look good. He looked the best I felt like today, just from seeing him, on other people's pictures and stuff, as this has evolved over the last couple of years. I thought today he looked the best. He had a notebook with him and glasses, and they walked him in, and then, that was it. The door shut. And then other, prosecutor, everybody else went in, but we obviously were just kind of all standing around the circle there. We got shushed a couple times.
You
But,
did? Or just the group?
Yeah, because, everybody's just kind of all standing around this big circle thing.
So who was shushing you guys?
Well, everybody, when everyone's talking, like I don't know his name, but he's super nice because I ran into him outside. I got lost on the square block. I went out the wrong door and I couldn't find my car. It's like a tiny.
I walk in the door right here and my car should be right there. And it's just not.
It wasn't. And I was like, what happened? Where's my car? Did it get stolen in Delphi? Like, where's my car? So I'm beepy. I have my orthopedic heels on, but I either have my orthopedic heels or I have dudes, like there's no in between for me, like on the shoe wear. So I'm walking around this whole block trying to find my freaking car. There's only 4 entrances, like one on each side of this. It's not big. It's just a block. Like,
but you just went out there.
I'm pushing my car trying to find it, and the officers were probably, they were.
You're probably lucky it didn't get towed, because I heard that they were giving tickets and tow trucks and all kinds of stuff for this 2-hour parking area. Apparently,
this was like we had gone to eat some lunch, and then I'd come back, and I was gonna. Someone had said I could give my don't. I don't want to talk about that, but.
That's fine.
I think I know what you're talking about. But then that was the thing. And I was like, oh, duh, I should have thought about that a little bit more. Like, no, I couldn't do that. So then I was like, okay, well, how do I get to that place from in here? But so I did all that. Okay. Made that. And then I'm like, I'm just going to go back inside the building and go straight. And then my car will be there. And I thought that's what I did. And then I get out there. I'm like, where's my car? Like, where did it go?
Did you realize you were just on the other side?
It was on the other side of the courthouse. So I eventually found it. And they were like, because they were so far in front of me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys have been probably hearing my horn go off. It's just me trying to find my car.
So did you see, we heard that Shane Evans was in the courtroom before the hearing started. Did you see him?
They all walked in together. Like, I mean, you know, I don't know him, but yeah, I thought it was him. He's one that, like, there's people that are definitely recognizable to me, like obviously Michael Leland and, you know, Rosie. And I didn't realize that. I thought it was with, I do feel a little bad for, like, Kathy and her mother that just has to, like, wait out there in that public
Everybody.
area with everybody. But no one was ever, you know, when people came in, they smiled at them, you know, like no one tried to, you know, get in their business or be rude to them or anything like that, which I appreciate.
That's good.
I don't like that. Regardless of, no one's innocent and no one's guilty yet. So, but
Well, and not to mention, like, they're definitely, like, they're not even the ones on the chopping block at this point. So it's like,
But if that's my husband, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be right there where she's at. Like, you gotta prove this to me, because I would never, or if that's my child, like, that doesn't
especially if it's
mean
my
he's
child.
innocent or guilty. That's my kid. I'm gonna be right where his mother is. You know, if that was my husband, I'm gonna be right there too. Like, you gotta prove this to me, because this would be so far out of. And there's been many other murderers' loved ones. There's a whole show made about it. It's called Evil Lives Here. You know, of like, what? Like, no, they don't. This isn't my person. This isn't something they would do. And, you know, so I don't think a lot of weight can be put into that. I see people putting weight into that they are supporting him, then he must be innocent. And that's just not, like, you're a mom. Like,
Yeah,
there
no.
isn't anything under the
Unless
sun
I
my kids would
already
do.
knew something, like I already had, like, the proof. If it was a situation like I feel like with the Richard Allen case, because as you know, like, I sit on the fence, I can sit here and give you all the reasons I think he's absolutely the right guy, and then I can go back and argue the opposite side and go, well, this doesn't make sense then, and this doesn't make sense then. But if I was in a situation like that with my husband, my brother, my father, like anybody, I'd be like, no, like, this doesn't add up, you know. And they were essentially married, like, right out of high school.
Yeah.
So, like, this is her whole life.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and that's the thing. I've been with mine for going on 17 years.
Yeah,
if he was
mine's 17
abruptly
years.
arrested and taken, I like, no. And I mean, if you, Gary Ridgway's wife, I mean, she attended most of the trial, and for her, she didn't believe that they had the right guy until he stood up in court and told the court what he did, you know, because he was very chivalrous. They had a very traditional stay-at-home wife. He checked all the boxes, you know, for her anyway. Obviously, retrospect, when you look back, when you face with, like, okay, like, this is my person did this, okay, then you have to wrap your head all around that. And then that's why I like that Evil Lives Here show, because it's the retrospect of, like, there were some signs, because that's one of the main things of that show. It comes across the scene, but there were signs, you know, and they're very subtle, and they're not ones that you would even put together until you know. So,
Well, yeah, I could see that.
yeah.
And so maybe there are, like, things, but I mean, it also is like, sometimes people are just, they do weird shit, or they have a weird habit, or whatever it might be. And now, do you sit there and think, like, okay, well, he did do this and he did do that, so maybe, and then it's like, no, that still doesn't make sense. So, and then she'd have to come to terms with her entire life being a lie, essentially.
Which, can you imagine how?
No.
I mean, that,
He's
like,
happy.
even when I was at CrimeCon, I got to talk to Dennis Rader's daughter.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? I know her.
Carrie. She's pretty freaking awesome.
She's Carrie. That's right. I don't know why I was thinking Melissa, but that's Happy Face Killers.
Yeah, Jesperson.
Yeah. Dean says, if they arrested my wife of 25 years, I'd be like, it's about time.
I asked my dad one day just because I wanted to know, like what's this loyalty we got here with me and my pops. I was like, Dad, if I killed someone, would you help me get away with it? And he was like, absolutely not. I'll call the police right on you.
Like, good to know that you have my
He's
back. So I'm
like,
not calling
and
you
I'm
for
like,
crisis.
yeah. He's like, but I love you. I'll always love you. And I was like,
I'll come visit you in prison.
right. He was not having it. He's like, no, absolutely not. I'm like, but what if it was
What if
like,
there's a good reason?
yeah, what if it was like a good murder? He was like,
Whatever that
no,
is.
it's still a no, honey.
That's
But like, I don't know. I love my girls unconditionally. There's nothing they could do. They could end up being all the things, and yeah, they may be behind bars. But I just watched. It's called Defending Jacob. Wow,
that's my oldest son's
you heard
name.
of that?
No.
It's on Apple TV. It's a pretty short little mini
Is it like a
series.
miniseries?
Yeah, of a son. Their son is accused of murdering a classmate in a park, stabbing
Okay.
him. And so it's like this
It's a
whole.
story?
I think it's based on a true story. Yeah, it was wild to see like both sides of just of these parents of, and they never really know if their son is in, like, that becomes like a part of it, like did he, but they try to bring into court about the son's dad was a murderer, even though the son never knew that, the wife never knew that, the dad, who was a DA, like, keeps it from his family, and they try to bring that in as Cleveland. It's so good. It's a great one.
All right, I wrote it down so I could watch it. My oldest son's name is Jacob.
Yeah. Well, he's probably not like this one.
He's a little introverted.
This kid is a little, I mean, this is just a show. So, but I do think it is based on a true story. But other than, the one girl there was in sunglasses, which was weird because
She was on earlier.
No, and when we all left, because Liggett just came out and was like, no public hearing today. Like,
was he yelling?
All I got. Liggett?
Yeah.
No.
Did he come out and tell everybody to shut up?
No, that was another guy. He didn't tell any. The other guy, he was like, you guys got to keep it down. There's court here, and then there's courts going on in the building. Like, you can't just be out here talking, like, and then everybody would start to whisper again. And then it would, how it is, like, the farther away from this, like, he just said, got to be quiet. We're talking. But no, the guy, because he came up, I was over talking to Dave Banger. He's a court reporter.
I follow him on Twitter.
I know he's got his own little, I get his newsletters, but I was talking to him because I've known him since, a while. And he had asked the same guy that reprimanded us all, like, hey, is there something we can put there? I don't want to set my cell phone out here today on the benches. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll go get a little container for you guys. And so he went right away. He got it. And then as he's passing Dave and he was like, I got it for you guys. Here, I'll put it over by the door, for when court opens. So they weren't aware that this wasn't going to be, like, no one was aware that this wasn't going to be what the docket said it was going to be, not even him, because he was the bailiff in charge of guarding the courtroom door. So he's just telling people you got to be quiet. Like, come on, you can't. And it wasn't anything. It was a nothing burger, like his reaction. And then Liggett was just kind of like, I don't have anything else to tell you, I mean.
So did you hear any grumblings about why it was canceled? What happened prior? What was the big deal? Nothing?
They were probably in there for maybe, I'd say no more than 30 to maybe no more than 30 to 35, 40 minutes. Obviously, Richard Allen got there, and he must, this protocol, like, he's there. I think we were walking in at I think it was like 12:40 or 12:30. So they were bringing him in, and then everybody else just kind of come in. But I kind of felt bad for his family, and then the victim's family have just happened to mill
There should
about.
be a different room for them to go to. There should
Yeah,
be
and
somewhere
they
else.
did after
Leave the actual public outside until it's time. And
Yeah,
then
that's
like
what I
maybe
thought
have
they
them
did.
in the courtroom. I would think so too.
I think they probably will after today's if they have a closed hearing and then a open hearing
So
right after.
you heard no kerfuffles about why they canceled it or what happened in the closed hearing. Did you see the Erskines there by chance? I heard Anna was not there. And I know at the hearings before that her mom and stepdad had gone.
Yeah, I don't know if they were there or not. I didn't see them, and it's not like there wasn't a lot of people there today, like I
Because
didn't
it was supposed
think.
to be super short.
I wasn't, I've been to way too many status hearings to know that they're usually big nothings, but everybody's like, oh, he's going to take a plea. I don't think that's what happened at all. I
No.
am Miss Allen was said to have been upset. Once he said
Kathy
that,
Miss Allen or Janice Miss Allen?
yeah,
Kathy?
I
Well, I heard that she didn't get to go see him, and so that she was upset because she normally gets to see him on.
Yeah, it could have
court.
been as simple as that. I don't, but we because the only door that was open was the handicap accessible door. So we were out there, and Kathy, her mom, and what is her name?
Janice?
Ajay.
Oh, Ajay. Oh, Jennifer Ajay.
Ajay.
Yeah.
Was walking out with they walked we made room for them to just kind of go. She seemed upset, and then OJ was had her hand on her back, kind of like comforting her, and then they had
Did she come out and like tell her something that upset her, or was she already like upset? You know what I mean? Like, did she come out and relay information? Like,
they did talk. They like the like I said, I didn't hang out. I wanted to get back outside. Like, I have some anxiety problems as people, so I don't know. But the people I was with,
I have no problem hanging out with tons of people here, but I can't do a bunch of people around me anymore. And it's a weird age thing because I used to love it.
Same.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people next to me. I can't move. I can't think. But like 300 people in here. I'm like, perfect. Let's hang out.
I know, right? It's a weird thing. But yeah, so but the people I was with and the people, like the one person that I know, and I trust her with my life. But so they had taken the family, the prosecutor, and I think some law enforcement had taken the family into one of the empty rooms, like the victims' families. And then I was told that then how do you say it? I've got auger stuck in my head,
Literally what I say. Travis is the he's an attorney, and he comes in chat and like helps with like some of the legal stuff. Yeah. And he's like, it's Ajay, Teresa. It's Ajay. And I'm like, it's auger.
I know. It's hard to get it because I think I'm saying McClelland wrong. But
McClelland. No, it's McClelland.
Some people say McClelland, and I'm like, no.
McClelland.
I'm renaming these people then. I have to rename them. So Aju, I still did it wrong.
Ajay.
Now I'm calling
Aju. Aju is the sauce.
I know. I love French dips. I had one this week.
It's just like attorney.
Aju. I'm gonna do that. Like, been calling her auger, which is like a digging equipment. I've been calling her an auger forever.
That's what
Aju is a step up.
Auger. That's what it looks like. And it's like, no, it's the French. It's gotta say what the. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I mean, no one ever says my name right. I've been called everything, but Mel is a name that I had it crazy. My name is Melissa. So it's not like
So it's
there's a lot of
Melissa.
those milling about, so, but
So
so
people
there's
just said
none.
Melissa.
Yeah, I get called because it's spelled really real, so I'll get called. My favorite is Malaysia. I'll be at like a doctor's appointment, and the nurse will be
Ooh.
like, Malaysia. I'm like, yes, I am I am feeling that way today. Or Malaysia. I'll get that one. I'm like, oh my gosh, today I'm a whole country. Like, I'm so excited. But yeah, I get called like everything under the
So
sun.
how do you actually spell it?
Ooh, if I tell you that,
Oh, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. That's fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
don't do that.
I'm like
I
the
didn't know if it
only
was a public name. It's not a public. Yeah, don't do that. So, but
but
that's interesting. So Mel makes sense.
but so my first job, guess what? Just so happened to be
Mhm.
another Melissa there. So yeah, I know.
Seriously?
Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? And all during high school, no one ever called me by my name. They called me Mel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I finally get to be an adult and I'm going to be my name now.
Mm-mm.
No, you're not. There's another Melissa. So again, I was back to Mel. Not
Maybe
that
if you
way
could be
from
Mal.
at
If you
work.
could be
That's the way
Mel,
that
then she could
makes
be
sense
Mal.
though. But yeah, so
So
that's my story. But
that was your. So anything, nothing that you can think of. What was kind of the general consensus of what happened? Everybody was just like, well, okay, we're just gonna go.
I mean, it was like we were kind of standing outside, and then they were Rosie. Am I saying that one right? Huh.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
came out over, and they were there's a gazebo there, so they were kind of standing over. I think it was on the news. They were standing over there for quite a while, talking to Kathy and you said Janice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's Rick's mom.
yeah, and someone's had said, this is take it or leave it. I'm not saying that I'm not putting my anything, but they said they thought they heard her say, I just want him home. So I'm thinking like that seems like a thing that wouldn't happen today. Like
Unless
so.
she was going to go with the motion to dismiss, which
And
we
if
know
she was like if she was like upset, maybe she could have been upset that she didn't get to see him, But if it was more than that, I don't know. I the only thing I could think of is a delay. It's not like they're going to do the meaningful bond hearing that they should have done in November of 2022. So
right. Yeah, he's not going. But then that's why I said unless she was going to go with the motion to dismiss, but that's already been ruled on, so we knew that wasn't happening. So unless this is maybe her first time talking with Rosie since then, like I just really wanted him to be able to come home. Shit, maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I didn't even because it was just like that's all. And Leah was even kind of like, I don't have anything else to tell. Like I don't have any other. It's just like, but there's not going to be a status hearing today. So,
did Travis wants to know what your hoodie says? Is it Denver? Is it from Crime Con?
No, I got it at the Denver airport because I was cold and it was the best decision of my life because it's the best sweatshirt ever. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to have to pay this airport price for this freaking sweatshirt.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm going to have to wrap it up because I have a tiny human that needs me and I got to go pick up dinner apparently.
Oh, but yeah, like the only thing I could think was, people are like, oh, it's going to be, there's a plea. Or he's going to confess to the judge. I've heard a lot of different, but I can't say that I didn't have I didn't even have a speculation, other than the possibility is if she did say that, then possibly another delay in the trial,
Did you get the sense that
the
defense was upset? Did you get the sense that any of the attorneys were actually upset?
I mean, not from what like I said, I did not see them all come out of the courtroom and gather the victim's family. And I didn't see that part. From when I saw of their body language, I didn't see that Rosie was upset when he was outside or,
I And none of the
Jay was just comforting her. That was all. Just I didn't
nothing
see
from the
him.
prosecution side either. And you didn't see like Nick or Diener or any of them like upset. It didn't seem like anybody was upset. Just everybody just went on with their day.
Yeah,
Right.
I just said, well, I mean, maybe there's maybe a hint in the motions, but I don't know. I mean, we'll find out sometime.
I'm sure that we're going to get some type of whatever comes out like next week motion wise. I think we're going to hear, or order wise from her. I think we'll probably be able to kind of come up with an idea of what happened today. Unless there's something unless they go requesting a transcript that I can request, and then
Yeah, and that's it. Even seemed like the defendant was prepared for some. I mean, he had like I'm assuming probably reading glasses because they were up like this, and then he had a notebook, and I don't think I've seen him walking in with a notebook before. So
no, he definitely looked more
like
casual.
he was even prepared to write some stuff down. So, I mean, I don't know. But then again, I've been to so many, like for them to get canceled at the last minute, they'll have an in chambers and then come out and be like, oh, we don't need this today. We're not doing, everybody can leave. I've had that happen several times. So it's not that, it's not odd. I'm just, just from going to other counties and other courts.
It's true though. I mean, we had that with this case too, where she comes out and she's like, "There's been an unexpected change of, unexpected turn of events, and we're not having a hearing now." So it's not. Yeah. I mean, it is. It happens, but
people were prettier and more handsome than I thought they were.
So I'm going to ask you one more question.
I'm a talk out loud person. I was like, look at that.
Did you met people there? Did you call them by their YouTube name or did you call them by their actual
name? Let's see.
Like with Frank Meister. Frank Meister is not his name. Do you call him Frank Meister?
I didn't add the Meister on there, but
you just call him Frank.
It was the first time, of meeting. That's kind of one of the things where, like, I am not a good fake person, but at this point, like pleasantries are expected. That's respectful. This is a courthouse. You don't need to be, I don't need to be a bitch, but there's people that I obviously don't like and I don't want to talk to. So I just didn't. But yeah, I mean, there were some people there that I was meeting for the first time. Mr. Meister.
Mr. Meister, it's so nice to meet you.
I'll tell you what, Frank.
We're not calling him Bacon Meister.
His voice is the most booming. It's like he has a megaphone already on in his vocal cords. It's louder than on YouTube. Like it is a voice. He's got
that's because he loses his mic all the time.
Huh?
That's because Frank Meister loses his mic all the time. It's like he used to have it like pinned on him and then it was just gone.
He doesn't need one. Oh my gosh. I got to meet Rafael Sanchez today. I've been following that guy since I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, he interviewed me. I thought I was just greeting him. And the next thing I know, he was like interviewing me.
Question before I end. Hold on.
I have no idea what I said. So we'll see if that makes it anywhere.
Oh, you're going to actually be like in his article?
He took a video. Like I said, I was like, oh my gosh, you're Rafael Sanchez. And then
I'll have to look for that.
What's your name and your channel? And then he asked me some questions. So it's like, all right, we'll do this.
Andrew, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. Thank you and welcome in. Veronica has a question before we end, but I'm going to have to wrap it up. But thank you, Mel, for coming on and sharing your experience at the hearing that never was.
I know.
I don't know if Veronica already asked the question or if she's going to ask it.
Oh, but the one girl, like she came out, she was so mad about them sunglasses. She was yelling. I think I accidentally outside of my head said shh to her. People were staring from like a block away. It was very
so she
loud. Came on
earlier and she was kind of explaining like the process of how everything went and how it like escalated. And so I'm wondering like when that part of it was, but
I don't have I don't know who she is. I don't have like a reference for her today. Like I introduced myself to her, but I don't know who she is. She was just upset about the glasses. Huh?
True Grit Crime is her
Yeah.
channel.
Well, and I mean, when you're wearing sunglasses inside and you're not, like, what's the one guy? The blind guy. Like when you wear sunglasses inside.
God, why can't I think of his name?
I know, me either.
I feel
Yeah, I know. We got like the whole
You
vibe
wonder.
that like getting name gone. Somebody in the chat will know. But when you're wearing sunglasses inside where it's not real bright, like you stick out. And they're big. They're like this frame type bigger. They're bigger than my glasses. They're a big pair of sunglasses and you're wearing them inside. So I don't think that Yoder.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have, if I had to try to pull that in Newton or Reynolds or Marion, I would have got the same truth. They would have been like, what's that? Like, there's some, so, like, we'll see. But I think that ain't going to go over well. But the girl was not happy. She was very loud about
I
it.
imagine.
But it might be in the background of a news person's footage. It was
I'll have to find the interview. I'm gonna find the interview. First, I want to just watch you on the interview anyway. So we can get T to discuss RA's statement to his wife, hopefully. I don't know. What do you I just got a nanny cam, no Wi-Fi records. I'm not sure what that one is. All right, but I'm sorry to rush you off.
No, she was wearing them. She was wearing them on her face because I was just like, oh, that's different. Maybe she didn't. I thought she didn't want to be recognized. Like I said, I don't know her. I don't have a reference for her.
Yeah, she said she had them on her head.
She did at sometimes, but she had them on her face inside because that's why I was just like, oh, that's different. Maybe she doesn't want anyone to know who she is. Maybe she's trying to be a little
She also said that they hook up to Bluetooth though, and her phone was in her car, so she didn't even have. They weren't hooked up. They weren't charged. So
yeah, that's what she told me.
Yeah,
I just that when we were outside, and I mean, she wasn't telling me, but I was standing there. It was just very loud telling.
Okay, so can I please go over Richard Allen's statement to Kathy about if she can't handle it, then he'll tell them what he knows. I'd have to pull up the exact thing on the filing, but it was along the lines of in November of 2022 or December of 2022, as towards the beginning of his incarceration, he supposedly had a phone call with his wife where he was asking if she was doing okay and said, if he can't handle this, I'll tell them everything that they want to know. And I remember it was like the way it was worded. We need the transcripts for it so we can actually see. But the way that it was worded was interesting because it was, I'll just tell them whatever they want to know. Like it's still one of those could be very gray area of we know what they want to know. They want to know I did this. So if you can't handle all this, I'll just tell them, what they want to know. Or is it I'll just tell them everything I did? So we need the transcripts, but once again, more importantly, we need to be able to hear those conversations, which we're not going to get to until trial. So
as well as I do, words matter, and what's not what they don't say matters as well.
Yep,
both sides. So people don't like it, but I'm not gonna, I'm not in any camps. I'm not in any clubs or groups or.
That's where I'm at. I'm just like, whatever. I'll talk to who I want to talk to. I do what I want. I'm just trying to get information to, understand what's happening better. And that's really all it is. So.
Yeah, I just don't like the whole, the family did it with nothing to back that up. Like that kind of stuff is always.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I think that at the very beginning of a case, people definitely look at the families because statistically it's somebody that's close to the victim. But I think that at a certain point, we've got to call a spade. And, we can say I have my opinions about the personalities from the families, but that's very different than thinking that they're involved in the murder.
Killers and like in clubs and stuff. Like it's just but I've been in, I don't, for personal reasons, mainly, like a pretty good reason not to cover things and with this case. But this has been, this was the first live chat I ever saw was the helicopter footage. I've been here that long. So I know everything. I just don't talk about it because of
you should.
Well, I started to after
You did.
the
You were going
arrest.
back. You were doing all the things in the beginning, and you were going back through all the
Yeah,
documents.
that got a
Yeah,
little
you should do
difficult.
it.
I stopped.
Keep doing it.
It's a lot of
So,
work.
it is a
And
lot of
it's
work,
just
but
like
you do it.
nobody
It's so
cares.
good.
It just feels like people's minds are made up. They either think that he is innocent or he's
Well, then you can come hang out
guilty.
here because this is where, like, literally, I think most of the fence
So,
sitters are. we're like the group that's like waiting for trial to like put us like one way or the other.
yeah.
But I hate to cut you off, but I have to go. I have to go pick up Kaylee from gymnastics and grab dinner.
It was
So
great
I
to
love
finally
talking to
talk to you on
I
here.
know. We should do this. Like, we should schedule
Yeah.
something so we can actually just hang out and talk.
Love it. Let's do it.
I love it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me. Hi,
Yes,
chat.
of course. Thank you for sharing your day with us. Your day
Yeah,
of the
the
hearing whatever it
non-day.
was.
Okay,
And
see
Andrew,
ya.
thank you for another 10 memberships. I appreciate that very much. And I'm sorry to cut this short, you guys. I would love to just be able to hang out with you guys for the rest of the night, but I got to go do mom stuff. But I appreciate you guys being here. I know some of you have been banned from all the other channels, but those of you that haven't, I know that you have 1,000 other places that you could spend your time, and you choose to spend your time here with me. And I greatly appreciate that more than you'll ever know. So go enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to do a live this weekend because that's what I want to do. I have some things in the works. If not, I will be back next week, but I'm hoping for at least one this weekend. So go enjoy your Friday. If I don't see you over the weekend, enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops, no one knows. We're going Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.